All right. Welcome to B Team, the first B Team of the new year 2023, which frankly has got to be better than last year. I don't know. It's got to be better. We're hoping. So, lots going on. Let me just do a quick recap of what happened last time because it's been a while. So the last time we
Sure.
finished, we finished up the battle on the boat, and you guys managed to end up kicking the desk that was going to transport the boat into the elemental plane of fire, out the back of the boat, where it sank into the water, and it sank about 100 feet down, and then essentially transported a volume of water into the elemental plane of water, which caused some problems with the boat itself, and it started to swamp and things like that. But it did not destroy it. You managed to get everybody off the boat
I really wish
and
we could have
save the day.
sent a letter with that huge volume of water going to the plane of fire.
Dear
Just
flame
saying, you're
elementals,
welcome.
F you. We're done. Thanks. Here's some water for you. But so you guys managed to do that, and you saved basically, the entire, a great deal of the leadership of the city of Seaquen. This was largely seen as an assassination attempt, and an attempt to essentially decapitate the political leadership and the magical leadership. Because remember, there was a lot of people from the Lyceum on here. And it was so there was evidence that seemed to suggest that the elves, who have been sort of assisting in blockading and processing refugees over the last couple of weeks, but have now at the council meeting that you guys attended have said, look, you need to turn over control of this city to the elves so that we can administer it and we can make sure everything works all right, because with all these factions, everything's in disarray, and you guys will be completely unable to withstand a concentrated, not only a concentrated attack by the Sargavans, but any infiltrators would be able to just walk right in here in the guise of fishermen or refugees, and potentially they already have. And you guys will remember at this point, in that discussion, you guys remembered very quickly how Gate Pass fell. It was infiltrated. There were people who were infiltrated. There were council members who were bribed. And the next thing you know, the city was in free fall. And you guys only managed to escape by some pretty significant ruses, and got out of the way before the city was essentially, before Quislings on the Gate Pass Council essentially threw open the gates and welcomed the Sargavan conquerors into the city. You guys realize that Seaquen is even less protected than Gate Pass was. I mean, frankly, you guys would be shocked if there weren't lots of infiltrators here, because Seaquen, to its credit, has been taking in refugees from all points of Sargava and the Mwangi. Any place that's been attacked, they've been a focus here to bring people here. The elves are like, though, you guys need to turn administration and the defense over to us. You need to work for us. We'll get things in order. We'll be able to put together a coherent defense of the city when the Sargavans inevitably come here. That did not raise more than a few eyebrows and did not sit well with several factions in the city. This attack on the theater, however, with people who were, there were some elves that looked like they had succumbed to fire in a boat, and some of the other people that were sort of assassins were disguised magically as elves. There seems to be some sort of elven connection here, and there's a lot of people, well, several people, the usual suspects from Wraith's Mind, that are now openly talking about attacking the ships, in the river, the elvish blockade, to forestall what they feel like is eventually an elvish attack on Seaquen to sort of take over the city. They're saying basically this was the elves trying to get rid of the political leadership of the city so that they could just step in
Okay.
and take over.
but it wasn't the elves. Quite obviously not the elves.
In what sense do you
Why
mean
else,
quite
why else would
obviously?
a bunch of humans and or hobbits or whatever be trying to magically appear like elves if it was the elves?
Well, there was a lot of those guys are dead now, so I mean, you don't know. I mean,
Right, and
where did their bodies go?
the three burnt crispy elves in the boat
Hmm.
Yeah,
that you guys found, those were actually elves, but we have no idea why they were in that boat and already dead.
yeah.
They were already dead when you guys came up on board. The boat was
Right.
tied up to the ship.
They
But
were,
it
They
was
were
obvious
dead and
people
burnt.
were using
planted
magic.
there, obviously, by whoever was doing this.
Yeah, and there's people who were trying to appear like elves when they weren't. This is
Mhm,
like,
yeah.
this is like amateur hour trying to pin it on the elves. I don't know. I don't think the elves are. I wasn't crazy about the elves announcement in the thing. Hey, we want to take over everything or else. But this is an obvious ploy by someone to push more blame on the elves.
And to sway public opinion towards
Yeah.
the get rid of the elves camp.
Hmm. Well, the elves are in large part the just a quick aside. If you could update your token to your current hit points on this particular sheet. If it's correct, just leave it alone. If it's not, update to what your current hit points are. I know that you guys are probably wondering why you guys haven't passed a level in a while. We'll get there.
If mine says 300 hit points, that's what I've got now. So don't second check, don't double check that or
No problem.
do it at all.
You want to put 300 on there? That's fine. I know a 19th
I'm
level
pretty sure
sorcerer that'll be right there with you.
I'm pretty sure the Balor is the next combat.
So yeah, so in the meantime, after you guys foiled that attempt, obviously there were a couple of things happened. There were 4 people that seemed to be involved in this attempt. 2 humans who who were disguised as elves, but when they were killed, they reverted back to like human form. So it was like it's not a polymorph; it was more of like an illusion, a glamour. That they basically, once they were killed, the illusion went away, and they were elves that are humans that, I mean, you didn't know them, but they were dressed in new armor and that kind of stuff. And your guess is that they were probably hired from the refugee camps in some way. They look like locals.
Paid very well and then died.
Yeah, and then died for it. So the other 2 people, one was that Giorgio guy who was a member of the Wayfarers, which is this acting troupe that was they're a troupe of actors that goes beyond. It's like sort of like the actors and entertainers guild of the region. They're not just from here. Although this theater that we're in is sort of notable. I mean, it's the only big theater in Seaquen, and it is a Wayfarer theater. I mean, they do run it, but they're a regional group, like a guild almost. That goes from town to town and various kinds of things. So this Giorgio guy, he's the guy who gave you the tickets, but he was also the guy that was running that desk and doing spells and that kind of stuff to enact the thing. If you guys hadn't seen him kind of going up the stairs when you guys were enjoying the play, yeah, you guys will all be, roasted on the elemental plane of fire now with a bunch of other people. But you guys went up there, checked it out, found him, did all this stuff. He was disguised as a cloud of black smoke.
Shadow creature.
Yeah, like a shadow creature, and really made a thing. But you had ended up killing him. The one person of those groups that you didn't kill was Nera, the assassin that Titus sort of took out, and you guys captured her and interrogated her. And basically, she's like, "Look, I was hired muscle. I was protection for Giorgio. Giorgio hired me. He was, they didn't tell me anything about this. And then Titus said, well, how about if I hire you? And she's like, okay. And so now she's waiting for Titus to give her somebody to kill, to hire her appropriately. So she's just sort of hanging back in the wings. And I think she's actually staying with you guys, like in a different room at the inn, waiting. So she's sort of attached herself to Titus.
Well, he is pretty charismatic, so
he is charismatic. He is all that, and the proverbial bag of chips. So that being the case, you guys. So after that was done, you guys came back on shore, and it began to rain pretty hard and that kind of stuff. These are unseasonable, strange rains, came with a lot of wind, that kind of stuff, and it just got increasingly worse and worse. In the meantime, you guys went and talked to Simeon, and he was like, I need you to go talk or find Li Sidoneth, who's the harbor master and the guy who teaches hydromancy, water magic at the Lyceum. Nobody knows where he is. This is a huge thing that happened in his harbor. He should be here. Go to his house and find him. So you guys went to 555 Harbor Way, which is where he lived, entered his house, and realized that he wasn't there. And it looked like he had departed because there were certain things that were missing that if somebody who was leaving for town would take with them in a way that made it look like maybe they weren't leaving town. So it was sort of like it was kind of discreet, but he wasn't there. So you guys went back to the Lyceum. By this time,
You
go
missed
ahead.
a step.
What did I do?
I called dibs on the house after that, so
Well, I'm getting there.
that's a very important step.
We'll get there. So you guys went to the Lyceum and basically went to go see Simeon, and he was divining away, trying to find Sidoneth, which he could not find, trying to find, the cause of the thing. So he was doing all kinds of stuff, divination. Basically, he told you a couple of things. He says, I can't find Lee, but I have found what looks to be the central emanation of this storm. He goes, this storm is obviously magical. And by this time, it's like near hurricane winds. The houses are being damaged. The rain is coming down in torrents. It took you over an hour to get from 555 Harbor Way over to the Lyceum, which would normally take maybe 20 minutes. The weather is growing increasingly worse, and it's damaging the town. And so, houses, are being, damaged and things like that. It's almost hurricane. So you guys go in there, and
the boats aren't doing all that well then too.
No, the boats are. They're tied up, and they're. You're seeing some things kind of happen, but it's not good. Yeah, the boats on the river are not dealing with this very well either. There's a lot of things going on. So, did everybody update their hit points?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so what Lee said is basically, look, I've done some divinations, and it's I've basically ascertained that this is definitely a magical storm that is affecting us. Somebody is inflicting this storm upon Seaquen using magical means. He also basically, so he was following up that he couldn't find the hydromancer. So he basically is like, look, why don't I find the central location from which the storm is being sent? And he found it here at this area right here, down in what's called the Sunken Quarter of the island, the peninsula of Seaquen. So you guys will remember the Sunken Quarter being sort of an abandoned area, and it was, and the legend has it that it was abandoned long before the current area of Seaquen was inhabited. That used to be the town, and then something happened, and everybody abandoned it, and they call it the Sunken Quarter because it actually is sort of eroding into the sea. And so the lot of that is sunken an area. Nobody lives there, and nobody really goes there because there's really nothing to loot or anything like that. It's mostly broken stone buildings and stuff like that. Anything that was worth anything was taken long ago. There are some loose discussions, usually among the youth of Seaquen, about creatures that live there, or it's dangerous to go down there. And sometimes, you'll hear of somebody disappearing, and everybody's like, "Oh, they must have gone to the Sunken Quarter," and that kind of thing. But to hear Simeon talk about it, it's just an abandoned area of the peninsula because it's just not safe to live there anymore because of the erosion and that part of the peninsula is sort of sinking into the water. But what he was able to find is that the storm, the magic that is creating the storm, is coming from right about here. Now, he looked at the old maps of the Sunken Quarter, and basically he tells you that there used to be a place there. There's a couple of places there. So originally, long ago, that place was referred to as the Pyromancer's Tomb. And this is this place that's sort of lost in legend. There's no indication that there ever was a pyromancer there. It's probably a colloquial name of some sort, but that's what it was called. More recently, and by more recently is like decades ago, maybe a century ago, before people left the Sunken Quarter. It was made into a prison, a jail for people who lived on the on the peninsula, and it was called he goes it's either Stevens or Tevin's prison. He goes, that's how it's listed. Sometimes it's listed as Stevens prison, sometimes it's listed as Tevin's prison, and it'll tell you like that that was a common way of denoting these places by the, in this case by the original jailer. May have been somebody named Stephen, and that was his jail. But that's about where that is. So he would say also that this Pyromancer's tomb was rumored. The legend of the Pyromancer's tomb has it that there are some anti-divination spells that are in place, wards and things like that were supposed to protect this Pyromancer. But he goes, it's all sort of legendary, urban legend sort of BS. He goes, but he goes, that's where the magic is coming from. He goes, I cannot detect if Li's there. And frankly, he's still a little bit dumbfounded from the idea that Li would be at all involved in the assassination attempt, a mass assassination, a massacre. But he's like, that's what I got.
And Li's a water mage? And
Li's a hydromancer. Yeah, he is so he's got a couple of jobs. One, he teaches hydromancy at the Lyceum. So he's a powerful mage in his own right. And he's been a teacher there for, years. He was a teacher at the Lyceum before he became the what's they called the harbor master. Basically, he's in charge of ensuring that the harbor continues to be safe from weather issues, that the tides are appropriately done, that all of because this is a place that relies on fishing and river work, right? So he's the guy in charge of making sure that the water behaves. Which is why Simeon said we have to find Li with this rainstorm, this hurricane level rainstorm. He's got to fix this. He would be the guy they go to.
So can we create this?
Simeon doesn't know. He's like, look, hydromancy really isn't my thing. But I mean, as the Bible says, he who healeth can also maketh ill.
Okay.
So it's possible. He was like, look, I can't think of anybody else who could do this in town. Certainly this is water related and weather related, which would be well within his purview. And the fact that he's not at home and not scryable.
Yeah.
And Simeon will say, look, I've scryed him a dozen times when I need to reach him, that kind of stuff. I know him. He's easy to get a hold of. But I mean, with this, and he points to his crystal ball, he's like, look, with this, if he was 1,000 miles away, I would be able to find him. Something is blocking him from being scryed. I'll tell you that right now. And Titus would concur. Titus's, magical education certainly would extend to divination techniques. And Titus, from your point of view, that crystal ball is really is a good one.
Hydromancer is a
Best I've ever seen. One of the best.
What were you saying, Jennifer?
Hydromancer is a wizard of fire, right? I mean,
Water. He's a water wizard.
I thought you said a pyro, P-Y.
Oh, the pyromancer. Yeah. So the pyromancer from the Pyromancer's tomb. Yeah, that is a fire wizard.
So anybody of that ilk would serve them to put the hydromancer away while they're doing ill, right? Because the hydromancer would be their worst enemy.
Yeah, theoretically. I mean, that's a good case. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to hit the peninsula with some water related trouble, then yeah, you want the hydromancer out of the way.
All right. So when are we leaving?
Well, you guys needed rest. And he's like, don't go back out. You could stay here, and rooms were provided for you at the Lyceum building. So you guys could rest. You guys get, some hot food, a little wine, and you guys were, better. You guys get a full rest, so you guys get any hit points back or spells and whatnot. So you start from go. In the next morning, if anything, well, certainly the rain and the storm has not let up in the slightest. It may even be worse. It's hard to tell because when you're getting, massive amounts of rain and wind and stuff like that, incremental worsenings are hard sometimes to detect, but it's definitely as bad as it was the day before. Once you guys have a quick breakfast, you're brought up to Simeon's office again. And as you go in, you can see it looks like he's been at work all night in his laboratory in his office, and there's some other people helping him, and you can see there's a big pot of some sort of ill-smelling tea on a little magical fire going on and stuff like that. So he looks like he's been up all night. But when you guys come in, he's like, oh, good. I'm glad you're here. Are you ready to depart?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here before you go, I have a couple of things I want to give you. And first, he points over at a stack of this sort of like brown colored clothing that has like shininess to it. He goes, those are oil skins. The fishermen here swear by them. They will help to keep the worst of the rain and water off you. And there's like jumpsuits and jackets and hats, and you guys just pick what you need. And there's boots and stuff like that you can put over, or like sort of like those things you put over dress shoes in the rain that men used to wear back in the 50s and 60s, kind of thing. Not galoshes, but like the little rubber. Remember, there used to be those products where it was like little rubber shoe coverers that you would pull over your shoes.
How about gay? I'm sorry, I don't mean that in the offensive way, but then we just used to call them gay.
Gay?
Those gay covers. Those gay things you put on your feet.
Maybe. I don't remember that.
Incorrect, I'm sure, but sorry.
But yeah, so there's that there, and he's also on a small table nearby. You can see a cluster of bottles, and he points to those. He says, "Take whatever oil skins that you feel like you need to help keep some of the water off you." He goes, I've been thinking more about this prison area that I hate to say I'm sending you to go check if Lee's there, but it might, because of the sunken nature of the region, and it's right on the coast, it may be partially submerged. He goes, those are potions of water breathing that will last each of you an hour. I've got one for each of you. That's all I could scare up in short notice, but there's one there for each of you, and it will last an hour. Use them sparingly, but it will those will allow you to breathe salt water if you need to.
Okay.
So he's also arranged for a covered wagon to take you guys there as close as they get. He can get you to about here where the old wall used to be, but after that the ground slopes way down. He's like, our wagon guys won't go there, so I have to drop you off there. So it's a little bit of a walk, about maybe 700 or 800 yards from where he's dropping you off. Maybe 3/4 of a mile to get you to this prison area, hence the oil skins.
Okay. We're out of here.
All right. So you each get one potion of water breathing, and outside of the Lyceum, you can see that there's a cover wagon. There's some very probably charmed horses that are stamping and snorting and in the thing. They've got covers over them to try and keep the worst of the rain off of them, and head covers to sort of like keep it from water getting in their eyes and things like that. And there's one guy covered from head to toe in those same sort of oil skins who's on the deck. He does not look super happy, but he's on the stage outside to drive the wagon while you guys get inside. But it's warm and dry inside. You guys take off and you begin crossing what is obviously the city. The wind howls outside. There's the rain. You can hear just sheets of rain hitting the walls of the wagon. It's terrible. You really start to feel sorry for the guy who's driving the wagon, because he's really taking it on the chin up there. But you do make a steady pace through the town, and eventually you can feel the cobblestones of some of the town gives way to what you suspect to be soft ground as you leave the town proper. You go for a while like that, and then pretty soon, maybe an hour later, the wagon comes to a stop. And a few seconds after the wagon stops, you hear a on the back door, and the guy's like, "We're here. This is as far as I go." And he opens up the door, and you can see still pouring down rain, but you're now looking down into the sunken quarter, and you can see dimly through the rain a lot of like broken stone buildings and pools of water and things like that out in the thing. He was like, "The place you're talking about is straight that way. Go down through there. Be careful of some of the rubble. There's broken things and stuff in there. Go straight there until you start to see the coast. You can't miss it." There's a large terrace which leads into the prison. You'll see the fencing and the gates before you see the terrace. But that'll be your clue that you're nearing your destination. Do you need anything else? And he's like, "Oh wait, I've got something." And he goes and reaches for a bag, and he hands out small flasks of brandy, one for each of you, and a small package of, "There's food in there and brandy to keep you warm. This is no weather to be out in, and I feel for you. Be careful."
I'm
Okay,
gonna say thank you for that in particular. Can you
Yeah,
guys-
you could see that he has his own brandy flask, which he's been taking liberal sips of.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could hear you before.
so we're at the outer wall now.
Yeah.
guys-
Essentially,
Do you guys want me
right
to scout?
about.
Yes.
Scout and move ahead? How far?
You guys are right about here.
Considering the level of rain that's happening, the normal sort of 50 yards might be too far for me to signal you if I see
Yeah.
anything, so,
I would say no more than about 50 feet.
okay.
That way a full move can get me to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start moving ahead to scout. And I'm gonna, between the rain slickers and the storm and all the rest of the crap, I'm gonna use stealth, so.
Okay, so you're gonna stealth.
Yeah,
Give me a
looks like-
stealth roll when you get a chance.
Yep. 34,
34. All right, then now give me a perceptione.
18.
18. All right. So as you move forward and you guys let him sort of slip away, and
So
it's
we
not-
moved from after a little bit for the 30.
yeah, I mean, eventually, I mean, it doesn't take long, and he just disappears into the rain, and it's hard to see him. And Arendar, you get a little bit corked about that because you're just like, where's my dude? Where's my brother? But he keeps sort of coming back and that kind of stuff. He Wraith, you don't see anything moving out here. You do see as you kind of move through, you'll see several kinds of it's essentially what Simeon described. There's a lot of broken stone buildings, nothing really standing. There's nothing out here that you would consider to be anything resembling a shelter.
Right.
The roofs are falling in on these kind of things. It's very old. Think sort of like yeah, there was obviously, well, it's more along the lines of like, I don't want to say Greek and Roman ruins because it's not that old, but a similar kind of like textural feel. Stone
So-
buildings destroyed. You can see that some of them have excavation marks on them. And Simeon did once say that people used to come down here long ago to steal stone and bring back and build houses up in the main quarter.
Salvage material. So
Yeah.
where exactly do we start at this wall? I'm sorry, I missed the ping.
Sorry, right? So I switched maps on there. So you start.
Probably about due west.
Yeah, so they basically here, let me get you a decent color.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I still don't see the mark, so.
Yeah, I haven't because I may have made them yet.
Because I made them in exactly the same color as the background there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so you get dropped off right at the wall, right about there.
Okay.
And yeah, he's basically like, it's a straight shot, head for the coast. Look for the iron railing, the fence, iron fence
Right.
that leads into the prison. You'll see it. You go about halfway there.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna take a straight shot.
Okay.
So like, I'm gonna move up between this set of ruins and come up and just sort of check the edges. So, I mean, so as an example, if we walk straight through and there are people up here waiting to come in and ambush us from behind, we'll never see them.
Right. No, you wouldn't.
So I'm gonna move up through this set of ruins to get up here so I can see at that angle, which it looks like there's a fairly straight angle from up here to where the green thing is.
Right.
And then I'll move back sort of down and come down behind this area. So they're not just necessarily walking straight towards it. I'm actually scouting the edges and the periphery and all of that.
Yeah.
So
the
you're
rest
gonna
of us-
go, you're gonna look at this area, correct? And then
Yes.
also look at this area.
Yes.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm gonna walk up to the top one that you've got that purple line at, which will keep me behind some ruins and some buildings and try and get that fairly straight view towards where we're heading.
Yep.
And then if I don't see anything there, I'll backtrack and go down to the lower purple one.
So the rest of us are taking a more direct approach, just going pretty slow to give him time to go back and forth and check things.
Right.
Gotcha. All
And
right.
so- Yeah.
Chuck, give me two more perception checks when you get a moment. 23 on the north, 31 on the south. All right. So you go and look up in the north, and again, the sheer volume of rain coming down inhibits perception checks. There,
Yeah.
I mean, the place looks dead, and there's not, frankly, I mean, there's a lot of places to hide. Places that you identify as being, oh, that would be a good spot to hide. This would be a good spot for an ambush, that kind of thing. But yeah, you don't see any evidence on that uppermost purple line of any people being there. I mean, or anything moving other than the thing. Now it's hard to tell because of the rain, but yeah, nothing jumps out at you. Nothing, no arrows in the dark, nothing like that. The southern one, you go a little bit further and you actually begin to approach one of these old, hold on a second, one of these old towers, the watchtowers, which were along the wall. You can see the remnants of the wall, is some there and some not. The towers are largely fallen in, sunken, and that kind of stuff. You thought you saw maybe something in that movement in one of those in that tower.
Go back towards the wall.
Yeah, this one right here. Here, I'll mark it so you can see it.
Yeah.
What now? Hold on a second. Stop it. This fella right here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So that tower, you were approached it, and you approached it slowly because it's still got like a couple of stories in it. It looks broken down and garbaged out. I mean, you're like, I wouldn't go in there. I would be worried about falling through. But there was a brief moment where you thought you may have saw something moving on the second floor, like by a second floor window. So you stop, you go all quiet, you watch that window, and you don't make any more movements. You stay there for maybe 5 to 8 minutes. And you don't see any other movement. You thought you saw something, but then the longer you wait looking in there, you think maybe it could have been a trick of the rain. It could have been a trick of my eyes. It could be that I'm friggin' paranoid.
Okay.
That's what we pay him for.
Exactly. So once I've gotten that far, I'll wait that time out to where I'm comfortable that there's nothing watching me.
Yeah.
And especially because I had a pretty good stealth roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make my way again stealth back to the group.
Mm-hmm. Where you just as you come here, you just about line them. They're moving pretty. Oops, shit. Sorry. They're moving pretty slowly, but you don't have to backtrack very far to sort of catch up with them.
Right. And I'm going to tell them that I thought I potentially saw movement in this tower. It looks like there's more of that tower still standing than there are of the others. And if there's a way to get to the second floor, I thought I saw something there. I haven't seen anything in the direction of the prison, but I wouldn't want to walk to that and have something come from behind. So I would like to go and check out the tower.
Do you want everyone to go with you to check out the tower, or just you?
Who else is stealthy?
Not bonding.
Huh?
Not bonding.
Oh, okay. So I would want to take
Arendar
Sure.
is stealthy.
sort of a small incursion group of people who can stealth. Even
Okay.
though that leaves us sort of weaker, not having the rest of the party. I still think that probably getting there unseen would be a better thing than having our powerful dwarf stomp up there and go, hey, what are you doing on the second floor?
Come
I'm
down
only
here.
a -4.
That's pretty much how Bonder would handle it. He'd get them yelling, hey, get down here.
Yeah. You there, knock off all that sneakiness. But so, yeah, I'm thinking it might be worth it to just, because if it's nothing, if what I saw was a trick of the storm, then you guys can sort of hunker where you are and wait for us to get back, whatever small group goes. And then it's less wasted effort.
So I guess I leave it up to the rest of you. Who wants to go? And who can do so without notifying the entire town?
Like I said,
Does +3 count as stealthy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're just saying that, Les.
Correct.
Les is like, yes, that's.
Well, and the other thing, if I don't remember, but if you're a spellcaster and can go invisible, nobody's going to hear you because of the storm. So it's visual. really, but-
Invisibility adds 20 to your stealth roll.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's visual. That's
I don't know if
really
I blow an invisibility spell just to check this out,
well,
unless we know there's something here.
yeah.
I'll go with that.
Say that.
I've got a 10 in stealth. So not as good as yours, but not horrible.
Bo's horrible.
All right. Well, why don't we just go and check it out real quick? And try to be as quick as we can be stealthy, and go make sure that this isn't a rear ambush before we continue.
And if need to, I'm fairly good at climbing, so.
Yeah, which I am not.
Right. Who's going?
So it looks like me and Aaron are.
Twins.
All right, you guys are gonna shoot. All right, are you guys gonna so what are the rest of you who are not going to check this out? Are you guys gonna keep moving towards the prison? Or are you gonna hunker down and wait for them to return?
Matter of
Or
fact, they should probably come with us until we're, until Wraith says, okay, you guys wait here.
You
I
see
want them
this,
to at least be able to see the tower that we're going towards.
right? You see this spot where I'm pinging?
Mhm.
That's in and amongst all these ruins?
I can't see any of the pinging going on. Is there a problem? Like, is there a reason? I'm looking at the overall map still,
It's over at the right-hand side.
that
Yeah.
within the yellow circle, right?
No,
Oh,
scroll
no,
way
no, no.
right.
Here, let me
To the right.
I'm not far enough. Sorry, okay.
Yeah, so
Fair enough.
bring everybody into here. It looks like there's some protection from wind with whatever the remains of these structures are.
there is some
And-
protection, but none of them have like roofs.
No,
Yeah.
but it adds better than standing out in the open in a hurricane.
That's a good point.
So, and they'd also be able to see the tower. And if we backtrack to there, then we can come around these buildings and approach the tower from here.
True.
Yeah, basically get it to where they're
And if
Maybe
whatever is in the
100
tower
yards
is,
out, so they can see it,
yeah,
and then just the two of us will go forward from there. That way they can see us as we're approaching.
and if whatever in the tower is watching in this direction towards the prison, and we come in from north of it, we might have an easier time of sneaking up on it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right, so you're gonna park the rest of the party sort of in, let's see, like right
About
about
halfway down that pink line, that bottom pink line.
here.
Yeah, just, on the edge of that building or something.
Okay.
That way
Yeah,
they-
that's about 100 yards away.
So yeah, that way they can see us
Yeah.
if something, something goes south, but
Okay.
they're still far enough out and hunkered behind something that they're still kind of hidden and won't mess with our stealth on the way up.
Right, and then the two of us will go from there left, and then south to approach
Right. You
the
want to
tower
approach this way.
to be
Basically
outside.
along the wall.
Yeah,
Yep.
and not in the direction whatever. If I saw something, if there was something there, the direction it was looking seemed to be towards the prison. Right, that was the opening.
Yeah, it was sort of on the eastern wall. Is there was like an old window kind of like on the second floor. It was definitely looking into the sunken quarter and not outward.
Right. So if we approach from the north and get up against the building, wherever the entry is, will be too close to the building for anybody looking out of a second story window to see unless
Mhm.
they stand at the edge and look straight down.
Yeah, your recollection is that the entry is also on that side of the building where that window was. So there was like a broken out door. There wasn't even, I mean, the wood, it would have been a wooden door of some sort on this side.
Yeah.
And I want to say like here. So it would have been like a wooden door, like right in this location.
Yeah, Les, before they wander off, I'm going to cast a message on both of them
Okay.
and
call.
me
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Yes.
even if the door is on that side,
Yeah, that east side.
it's just like if you have a tower that's like this, if you approach here and then stay up on the wall, anybody on the second floor looking out, unless they stand like literally at the edge and stare straight down.
Right. Yeah, like lean out kind of thing.
Yeah, they're not
gonna
going to
see
be
it.
able to see. They're looking because you have that angle of view. So
Right.
if we
All
get here, we can stealth along the wall towards where the door is, and in theory, stay out of the view of anybody that's on a second story part of it.
Yeah. All right, so you park the rest of the party. You and Arendar go west and then south to
Right.
approach the north side of the tower. There's a lot of like jumbled up rocks and stuff like here. What it is, you immediately can determine it's mostly the remnants of what was once a defensive wall that connected these towers. Now here at this point, it's really destroyed. I mean, you could go back and forth over it. There's a few rocks and jumbled pits that you can pick your way through, but you could easily go pass back and forth. And that's really the case for most of this wall. There are some relatively intact pieces, but it's all broken down and crappy. There is a window on the tower on that side, but there's no door.
Right.
Give me a perception check, both you and Arendar.
32.
Wow, nice. Okay, natural 20s. Oh, Arendar's not there. All right, well, natural 20 is going to be just as good. As you guys approach, and you guys are moving sort of quickly to try and get close to the wall, as you approach and get up to the wall, so you get to the wall itself without any problems, and you don't feel like you've been observed, nor are you accosted in any way. As you approach, though, as you look up into that window, that north side window, you see a couple of things. One, it looks like some of the roof is still intact on this tower, because as you look through the window, you cannot see sky. And it's daylight, so you would normally see that. Second, against what you think is some sort of ceiling in there, you can see very faint, but with a natural 20, you can see it, is what looks to be the flickering light of a fire.
Okay.
Not a large fire, a small fire. You can
Right.
barely see it. But there does seem to be some sort of fire going in there.
Okay. So from there, we're able to get up against the north edge of the tower.
Yeah, easily. No, and you don't see anybody observing you from the north window
Right.
either.
And then move around, basically skirting the wall of the edge of the tower to get to the front door on this side.
Okay.
And then you said the door was like a wooden door that's smashed off, right?
Oh yeah, it's effectively there's no door. It's just an open. There's a couple of pieces of wood sort of hanging down from incredibly corroded, iron hinges. It's a non-door.
Right. So then I'll stealthily enter the tower without touching the door if that's possible. I don't want to take the chance anything creaks.
Yeah, it's a partial door at best,
Right.
and you don't have to move it to get it out of the way. So so you go in and you immediately find yourself sort of out of the rain. I mean, you can still hear it, that kind of stuff, but there does seem to be a thing. You can see that there is some damage to the ceiling, and part of it is collapsed in, but a large part of the second floor is still okay, or at least undamaged from the point of view of looking up at it. You do see what looks to be an incredibly rickety set of stairs, sort of going up against the wall up to the second floor. You know how inside those guard
Right.
towers they have those against the wall kind of things.
Yeah.
It looks like. Give me another perception check real quick. And Arendar, are you going with him?
Yeah,
You give me a perception check too.
and you give me a perception check. And you give
There
me
we
a
go.
perception check.
That's better.
Chuck, you don't notice it, but Mike, you do. You notice that there does seem to have been some newer it's hard to explain this. So the stairs are made of wood, like, okay, in the traditional sense, where they knock holes in the curtain wall and they put planks in there and then kind of like make steps
Right.
to go up. So they're fairly rudimentary, but that's a lot of that is rotted away. But you can see that in a couple of places where the wood is really sort of messed up, that it looks like other wood has been sort of knocked in place to support it, right? So in a couple of places, those poles that support those things are sort of rotted away, and several of them are like broken and that kind of stuff. But you can see that somebody has taken other newer wood and sort of clonked it into those things to sort of support those steps.
Repair
The
it.
steps are still rickety as shit, but somebody has your to your eyes, when you pointed out to Wraith as well, Wraith's like, well, whoever did this does not know how to fix steps, because it looks very sort of rudimentary. I mean, it was like it was not a carpenter job. It was like a desperation
Would have a
job.
field day here.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't, it was a repair, and that
Some
allowed
sort of
them
repair,
to,
yeah.
that allowed them to get to the second floor. Now from here, can we see the obvious flickering light from
You
upstairs?
can. Yeah, there is a flickering light. You also, so Arendar, you can hear, well, at first it's very faint, but you can hear what sounds like talking, like very low talking. And at one point you hear what sounds like maybe a whimpering sound. Kind of thing. Also with a 29, you can you can smell some sort of like, well, it doesn't smell that great, but it maybe some sort of food cooking, like soup, maybe.
Like a bad soup.
Yeah, like a not very good soup.
So, okay.
So it
So I'll
sounds
let-
like
Let
there's
Wraith
more
know
than,
that, but I'll let him know. We start up these stairs. They're most definitely gonna know we're coming.
Oh yeah, they'll creak and crack and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, that was gonna be my
Right.
thing at this point.
Hey, buddy, how are those M&Ms?
M&Ms that I gave you.
Oh, they were good.
Good.
I've only opened one package so far.
Have you ever heard anybody? Have you ever heard a kid say, "Man, those M&Ms really suck"?
Those are sucky M&Ms.
Well, apparently they didn't leave much of a memory because Dad's being freaking stingy with them.
Ah, no kidding, Dad. Probably saving them for himself.
Jeez.
No, we're just doing them in small things. Did I tell you
So,
6 pounds? Did I tell you 6 pounds?
Oh,
6
you did
pounds.
tell me.
6.
Well done, Chuck.
Wait, what do you mean? Well done, Chuck. I didn't do shit.
You're the mastermind of these types of things.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I
Words
plead
out on you, buddy.
innocence. I plead innocence. Now then, at this point, stealth is probably less important than bum rushery.
Yeah, right,
And the fact that you have a big giant sword and I do not.
right.
So
So-
if you want to count 3 and go up the stairs, I'll be right behind you.
Right behind ready to,
Assuming the stairs don't break and I end up flat on my ass.
right.
All
So,
right, so you guys
It
are gonna run up
sounds-
the stairs?
We're like, we're far enough away that we're not gonna be able to help you probably.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
you-
also said you cast message, so we can relate back that it sounds like there are possibly more than one person on the second floor of this, that they're cooking food, and that they do not appear at this point to know that we're here. So even though once we will explain the stairs and ricketiness and whatever, once we go up the stairs, they're obviously going to know we're here, but they're still probably not going to be prepared for angry Arendar.
and if someone's cooking food here, I'm hoping and not really expecting much of a threat upstairs. This might be some poor person living here.
So should we start moving your way or stay put?
Is there a wall around it or that they're?
Have them come the same way we came.
What do you mean a wall around it?
I'm not quite clear on what the building looks like. I mean, I get that there's stairs.
Well, it's an old abandoned guard tower. So it's 2 floors, and it would have ultimately been connected to the curtain wall. In this case, most of the guard towers, at least the one guard towers that you've seen sort of in the distance, are all sort of collapsed. Everything in this area of town is sort of like destroyed. It's just old and decrepit, and
But
it's
the
been
wall is
looted.
gone too. The wall is gone too. It's
Yeah.
just the guard tower that remains.
Right.
Yeah.
Gondrum's gonna look around and just see if he can find any, like, secret doors and whatnot in the stonework, see if the old masonry had any other.
We're gonna start heading that way. We're about 100 yards away right now, Jennifer.
Okay,
We waited behind them.
But when we get there, that's where I wanna go. I don't wanna go straight to, I'm gonna try and hit around the bottom of the tower, is what I was getting at. I wanna just check out the wall.
Okay.
So we're leaving now, Les, if you want to track time wise. We're
Okay.
gonna start heading the direction that they headed.
100 yards will take
West
you
and
4 or 5 rounds at a brisk pace. Is anybody else going to do anything? Oh no, Titus, you guys got anything on your mind?
I'll just go along with the group. I've got pretty good stealth too, if that's ever needed.
Yeah, I forgot. You were being quiet, but I was like, yeah.
He
No.
wasn't here when you guys took off, so he probably would have
Right.
been with you
He,
guys.
he probably would have been with us because he's probably just as stealthy as. He's probably at least as stealthy as I am, since he doesn't wear armor.
Good point. What about you, Titus? You doing anything specific or just monitoring the message spell?
I'm just monitoring the message spell. If I can be useless, I'm happy to do so.
There you go. All right. All right. So Arendar, you're just going to run up those stairs, and then Wraith, you're going to follow right behind him.
Well, that's kind of what we're discussing,
Okay.
is if we want to try to be stealthy. And if we know that fails, like if we step on 2 steps and the third one goes, "Wah," okay, that's
Then we just-
blown,
we
right?
just hurry
And
the
at
rest of the
that
way.
point, you bail. But
Yeah, so we'll
we
try
wanna-
stealth until it's obvious that it's,
that failed.
All right.
which
Who's
we
gonna go first?
anticipate that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So basically, as soon as, I'll go first, but as soon as I hear the first loud creak or
Well,
whatever,
and the thing to remember is that while the storm inhibits perception, it probably helps stealth. There's a
Mhm.
hurricane raging outside.
right,
One
Yeah.
little creak of a piece of wood, every piece of wood in the area is creaking. It's a hurricane.
right.
Good point.
So unless it makes a super loud noise, or unless you hear them respond to it, it's probably best to
And keep trying to stealth.
yeah,
to
it's
keep going.
probably it might be best to assume that they figure it's just the whole building is shaking.
So you guys are going in now before we get there?
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
seems like it. But you guys are only a couple rounds behind, so
Yeah, you guys aren't far behind.
Well,
And then-
Gondrum's got little legs. He might be one extra.
and that the idea is hopefully we'll catch them enough by surprise
That there won't be a combat.
that there won't be much of a combat, if at all. But there
Splitting
also
the party is always the best idea. So I think you're on the right track.
yeah, exactly.
I love it, frankly. I like when you like, it's sort of division of labor, right? Some group goes to do this
Absolutely.
thing, some group goes to that thing. Speaking as a DM, I think splitting the party is wildly underrated, frankly. Also, dwarves, Vondrum, my understanding is that they are very dangerous over short distances.
Oh, absolutely.
Natural sprinters,
That's right.
what I've heard.
With leaping abilities and great acrobatics.
All right, so give me a stealth check, Arendar or Wraith. Which one are you guys? Who's stealthing up the stairs?
I'm going first.
You're gonna go first. All right. Ooh, all right. So the moment you put your foot on those wooden beams, you immediately become like, oh man, I can't believe I'm walking on this. You can feel sort of the wood bend a little bit underneath, and there's like, it's cracking and making noise. But as Wraith pointed out, the noise of the storm certainly is covering some of that things. As far as you could tell, nobody up the stairs has made any move, although you can hear that sort of whimpering sound a little louder, and then the voice is, it's like a whispered voice of some sort. Again, very difficult to hear for the same reason that you guys are very
Right, yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stairs do hold, although Wraith, you're standing on one of these stairs, and you're just like, man, I'm glad we didn't run up these things because they would have just
Right.
turned to like powder with a couple of guys, a couple of half elves in various states of armor and weapons. I mean, these stairs are not much to think of.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll just continue up
All right.
until I
There's a
get to the
couple of
top and-
couple of more stairs. I'm assuming you're just going to sort of like once you get to the top of the stairs, you're going to kind of do one of these things and
yeah,
see what's
peek
in there.
over and yeah.
And you just pop up. So yeah, you get up the stairs and nothing seems to be, there's no like, oh my God, there's somebody in the building kind of thing.
Right.
Nobody approaches the stairs from upstairs. As far as you know, they do not know you're there. You slowly raise your head up and look over, and your eyes are essentially level with the floor. And what you see is, well, a small group of people, maybe 4 or 5 people huddled together. They have a small fire directly onto which looks like a small iron cauldron looking pot is sort of like stuck in the coals. There's a little pile of wood, that's soaked. There's a lot of smoke coming out and out of the fire. And as your eyes sort of, acclimatize to the ruddy light that's in there, you see that it looks like there's a woman there, maybe a young man, a teenager or an adolescent, and 3 much smaller children, including one that looks maybe 3 or 4 years old. The other 2 are in the 7, 8, 9 range.
This is what I thought.
And they're sort of huddled around that thing. And this woman she's got this, she's got a big sort of spoon that has been bent, and she's dipping into, now you can smell it pretty easily, this sort of whatever's in that pot, which is sort of simmering and that kind of stuff, and she's dipping in there and she's pulling it up and she's blowing on it and she's holding it to the children and sort of like feeding them out of this thing, because they don't have plates, they don't have bowls or anything.
Right.
And there's sort of, you can see that there's various detritus kind of scattered around. There's a little bit of urine-y smell.
This message is something I can whisper in my head back to
Correct.
Poe. I'm going to whisper to him, there's a family here, so I don't think there's a threat. So come in slowly. And then I'm going to whisper in twin speak down to Wraith, who's right behind me, that looks like a mother and her children.
Kill them all. No, I'm just kidding.
So Wraith's like, oh, so easy experience points.
Yeah. We only get half experience points for the children, which sucks, but otherwise. We're close to
We're
six,
leveling
damn it.
tonight.
We're close to. No. Okay. So
with that being said,
I'll whisper back. Do we want to back out or do we want to make ourselves known and help them?
we'll help. You and I are
Okay.
both from the ghetto. We're gonna help.
Okay.
From the
So
ghetto.
I put my sword away as quietly as I can. But I also want information from these people. So and then I come up slowly and try my best to a non-startling way to let them know that I'm there.
Okay.
You don't pop out and go, hello.
Excuse me.
You wouldn't happen to have any Grey Poupon, would you?
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon? But of course. Here, let me fetch it from my pile of detritus or my other pile of detritus. All right, so you step up there and
fish bones.
you get about halfway up. They are definitely not paying attention to the stairway.
So I got my hands, up like this.
Oh, the moment they see you, the woman is like, her eyes go like saucers, and so now you get a pretty good look at them, at these people, and they look absolutely destitute. I mean, ragged clothing. The woman has some sores on the side of her face. Her hair is straggly. Those children sort of immediately sort of like run to her, and she sort of like grabs them and holds them back, and she looks over at the other kid, who's a boy, but he's maybe 13 years old. He kind of like stands up and is kind of crouched down, and he's got, and it's the most pitiful thing you've ever seen. He's got like a piece of, he scrambles around and grabs up like a piece of wood that it's obvious he has sharpened into some sort of point, and he's sort of like, get away from us, get away, this place is taken, go away.
I put my hands up and say, I just want to talk and help.
He
Like,
seems
I keep my hands up the whole time. I said, I've got my brother here with me. Before you freak out.
He's got a weapon. I pull up and fill him full of arrows.
All of a sudden 6 arrows come out from behind you.
Now, at this point, with as rickety as these stairs are, I'm going to kind of stay where I am, I think. And because he's the pretty one that can talk all good.
Talk all good.
he's got
I
a,
just-
You know what I'm good at talking at? I'm good at intimidating.
I'm
It's not
I
the
put
skill I'm using right now.
I put arrows and stuff, and apparently these are not the things to put arrows in.
Like, my job's done.
so
But
it's pretty clear that you haven't convinced this kid, because he is taking the opportunity for you saying, I'm here, I'm from the government, I'm here to help,
right.
to move to sort of slide, sort of stutter step over so that he's standing in front of the mom and the other kid.
Right.
And he's still got that thing out, and he's like, this place is taken. You guys need to leave. Get out of here right now. Go.
Are you guys from here? I'm gonna put my shield over and like latch it on my back where it usually sits.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out. You said the guy gave us some food.
Yeah, he gave each of you packets of food, which has like, lembas bread and,
Right.
and little, hard cheese and like an apple, and imagine
Open it up
worst-
and there's actually some Grey Poupon on there. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And there's like some dried meat. I mean, standard kind of like rations looking thing.
Right. So I'm gonna, after I put that back, I'm gonna grab the food out. Say,
Okay.
hey, we're just here trying to help with the storm. I've got some questions. How long have you guys been here? And I'm unwrapping the food as I'm doing this.
Well, as you're unwrapping the food, I mean, you get the impression that they can smell it before
Mhm.
you get it fully unwrapped, because suddenly, I mean, the kid was like, he's got this big piece of wood that he sharpened. He's kind of like jabbing it at you. It's obvious that he has zero combat experience, because he's like, stay away. But the moment you start unwrapping that food, I mean, his eyes just gonna like look. I mean, you could walk right up to him and clout him in the head if you wanted to right now, because his attention is completely diverted. You can also see the other kids sort of peering around their brother because they can either smell it or they know what's going on. As you're unwrapping this thing, you're sort of talking about like, I brought some food for you and that kind of stuff. The mom stands up and she says, I don't know who you are and I don't know what you want, but I'm not going back. I won't go back.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from a town that I don't have a name for right now, but
Okay. So you're from there. Okay.
she names a town that you sort of vaguely heard of. It's in sort of like the Sargavan territory. Your impression is that she's here because she's a refugee.
Okay. So if you're a refugee, why aren't you up on the plains with the rest of the refugees?
She looks at you kind of skittishly.
And while she's doing that, I actually take the stuff out, unfold on the floor in front of me, and just kind of set it a foot or so in front of me, and then I just sit on the floor right next to it.
Okay.
So they had to come to me to get it, but it's sitting wide open on the floor between me and them.
Ono's going to offer them his food as well. Is that correct, Eric?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So as far as I know, you're in the building, but you're still sort of downstairs. So I mean, do you hand up the food packets, that kind of thing?
I am going to actually set
Come up the
down
stairs?
the food on the ground and step back from it. I give a little monkish bow. I'm humble.
You've got to, I'm the only one up there with them right now. You're kind of like on the bottom floor, like probably
really?
a few steps
You can come up
up.
the stairs though if you want.
Yeah, you can pass. Like I said, Wraith's kind of stopped on the steps, but you can
I
come
see.
past him and come up to the second floor where I am.
Okay. Well,
You hear
know
me
what?
saying this?
I would just like to just give them food. And
So you kind of come up, poke your head up, and
yes, please.
okay.
Yes, please. And I'm gonna be humble. My most kind face. Most kind, lawful good face. You know.
Okay.
Okay. So he comes up and adds his Ono adds his food to the pile that's available. And
As soon as he comes up, if they look a little freaked out that we got even more people in there,
yeah, they are a little
I'll say, oh, this is Ono. He's a friend of mine. And yeah, Ono's nice because I do look like a warrior type, whereas Ono being he's young, he is being a monk.
Yeah.
Looks like a little kid, a teenage kid that's hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's a lot less intimidating than I am.
All right. So Ono comes up and you can see that. So that 16-year-old was her doing a sense motive. And she's and your question was something along the lines of like, why aren't you back in the town? And she says, I'll never go back. I'll never go back. I'll never I can't go back. I will never let Thurgok make me do what he wanted me to do.
Who's Thurgok?
Thurgok, and she just spits the name. Thurgok the dwarf. He
Thurgok.
forces people to do things that they don't want to do so that they can get food and shelter for their kids, for their families. I wouldn't do what he told me to do, so I left and I came here.
Tell you what, if you just have a nice this food is yours. If you just have a conversation with me, we're kind of on a mission to do some stuff down here, but when we're done, we will personally take you back there and make sure you are taken care of and don't have to deal with whatever dwarf that was.
What? So you can force me to do what he wanted?
I don't want to force you to do anything. I'd recommend you eat the food that Ono and I placed on the floor here, but I don't know how long you've been here, and I would like some information of what you've seen around here. That's all I want from you.
All right. So the teenager, whose pointed stick is now pointed at the ground, and he's sort of like creeping forward. He reaches out and he grabs, pulls one of the packets away, and he gets Ono's packet as well and takes it back. And he sort of like spreads it out and starts handing it out to the littler kids who go like bonkers. I mean, they're eating it like they haven't eaten for days. You also get a look in that soup pot, and it is pretty much what you suspected. There's maybe some fish in there, not much else. Not sure where she may be getting. Maybe she's sneaking into town to try and get stuff and bringing it back, but that kind of thing. But it's paltry at best. But they devour this material almost immediately. I mean, they're crazy. The woman sort of hangs back, and she's, what do you mean? What have we seen?
We're heading down towards this storm. We think is not caused naturally, and we think it might be caused by something down towards the water. So how long have you been here, and have you seen anything odd? Any people passing through here? Any creatures?
We've been here for around 4 days since we left. We ran away from Thurgok and his henchmen to try and get away. It's been very difficult. We left with almost nothing, but I haven't seen anything or anyone here. In the Sunken Quarter, we knew we would be safe. That's why we came here into the Sunken Quarter, because we knew that we would be safe, that no one ever comes here, and it would be the last place that Thurgok would look for us. You could see as she sort of like speaks that underneath sort of the dirt and the rainwater and the fact that she hasn't showered for a while, she's actually quite an attractive woman.
Which is probably why she was asked to do something she didn't want to do.
It's possible.
Okay, I appreciate the information. You guys stay here, stay safe. Like I said, we've got some stuff to do here, but on our way back out, we will come. If you're interested, we'll escort you back up in there, and we'll make sure that you get some real accommodations without someone, wanting to have you do favors.
You could see, so there's some tears coming out. She goes, I dare not to believe you, but if that's true, then we'll be here. I promise you. And the rest of you arrive at the place about that time.
ma'am, is
I'll ask if anybody's hurt.
is it?
Like the family? Are they? Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Eric. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask the lady, ma'am, is there somebody trying to make you do things that you don't want to do?
It was Thurgok.
Thurgok.
I won't do that. I'll do almost anything for my family and my children. My husband, who's dead, he would have put that dwarf right in his place. But now he's gone because of the Sargavans, and I have nowhere to turn to. I was close to doing it. I was close to joining his group, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. So I ran. I knew that he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me leave. He would force me.
His group? What group?
His group. His group of. He's been finding people in my situation, women in my situation, and forcing them to join him and do what he wants them to make money.
I see. Oh, I think I see now. I am a
Okay, roll
And
for
naive
initiative.
and the
He
naive
has more
monk-
joints so he can attack you.
And the
Uh-huh.
naive ass monk finally gets it.
No woman should be forced to bake cookies when she doesn't want to.
Right.
That is correct.
No means no.
I see. Well,
The C in cookie is also the C in consent.
ma'am, when I meet Thurgok, I will hit him.
Yes.
I wish someone would. Everybody's so frightened of him because of his thugs.
There's no need to be frightened anymore. I will hit Thurgok and his thugs, and I will also kick them, and they will
Boot to the head.
not harm you anymore.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, you guys hear. So the rest of you arrive at the tower, and you can hear this conversation going on upstairs. You could hear Arendar saying, we'll come back to get you, and we'll bring you into the town. We'll make sure that you don't have to deal with this. You can hear Ono talking and saying, look, I'm gonna find this guy. I'm going to punch him in the neck.
I'm gonna boot to the head.
And a boot. Somebody's getting a boot to the head. But yeah, obviously, it seems clear. She's been here, she says, for 3 or 4 days. But that it seems clear that she was a refugee. Her husband was killed, she says, by the Sargavans, and that she was being coerced.
Yep,
And
but they have not seen anything down here at all, though, right? That's what she
that's
said.
what she says. She hasn't seen no one since they came down here.
Okay.
And,
Alright.
she'll say that's why. She basically says that's why we came down here, because we would be as far away from Thurgok as possible, and he would never think to look for us here.
Okay.
Because in the way she talks, it was like, sounds like she was getting the full court press.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she's an attractive woman. Falling on hard times, certainly, but
It's a good thing
you know-
Damien isn't in this campaign.
that's true.
Dibs.
I'll be right back.
So I think, this was just a side.
Oh, but it was worthwhile. And they,
Yeah.
from the second story window in this tower, they have a
Yeah, you
view,
probably got a good bird's
if
eye
they
view.
choose to take it, of the prison. So
Yeah, we need to look at that. I'm probably just gonna take my dagger off my sheet and give it to the boy and say, here, you can use this to protect your family till we get
why,
back.
if you give him a weapon, somebody's just gonna, if he encounters anybody, they're just gonna take it from him and kill him with it.
He's
It's just
gonna
a
put
dagger.
somebody's eye out.
It's just a dagger.
Okay,
He'll feel like a big man.
that works.
But yeah,
He was kind of shaky with the pointy stick, so you give him something he can cut himself with. I don't know if that's a good idea. But yeah, I agree. We'll get him and bring him back, and
and then we'll let Ono
we'll let
shoot someone to
Ono
the head.
we'll let Ono have a shot at this Vergot guy. Who fancies himself a pimp.
How old is Ono?
Ono recently turned 19.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
It took like Ono 35 minutes to figure out what she was talking about. So
Ono is from a monastery.
he's
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of naive about these kind of things, but yeah, it sounds like Well, it sounds like, I mean, she mentions that, you know, he's done that. This Thurgot guy has been doing this to other people. He's got thugs that are enforcing things. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like he's really taking advantage of refugees in a difficult position.
And I fully support Ono's desire to boot people to the head.
Yes. We will be there cheering him on.
Maybe adding an arrow or two.
Maybe adding an arrow to the boot. While we're here, I think Wraith's going to take the opportunity to kind of peek out the window to get a bird's eye view towards the
Sure.
Yeah, because that's what initially got my attention. Is there's a window aimed directly at the prison.
Yeah, it's over there. From this height, I mean, you can
See if we can see
see.
anything else.
Well, you can see. I mean, it's not very far. You can see the ocean, or it's not ocean, the river, and you can sort of. I mean, there's a lot. You get a pretty good visit. Give me a quick perception check as you look out the window.
Go big.
Oh, great.
Nice, natural one. That's some classic Ono there.
Wow.
I was going to say,
We used to call big bucks, no chucks. I think Ono's got your beat, man. I got to tell you.
Ono's too busy getting hugged by the kids for sharing his food. So he doesn't get
Yeah.
to see very well.
Well, they do once the food, they go through the food, and I don't know if the rest of the party is going to hand up their packs as well. I assume Wraith does at some point, but yeah, they're I mean, yeah, they you know, your family now, as you know, say you've gotten past them, and she's basically, you know, these kids haven't eaten for a while, not like this certainly. And you're thinking this is trail rations. This is lunch for us. But they're diving into it like it's a banquet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's no doubt I would give over the food. I would also give the brandy to the woman
Okay.
and tell her, be careful. I don't know how strong it is, but this might help calm your nerves and warm you. I wouldn't give it to the children.
She takes what looks like to be the teeniest of sips, and then she hands it to her older son, who's, like I said, maybe 13, and he takes a sip, and you can see it's kind of amusing. He takes a little sip, and you can see him kind of go, you know. But then you see him sort of like, you know, that kind of thing, and then you see him sort of surreptitiously take another sip, and the reaction isn't nearly as bad. So
Yeah.
he's yeah.
Great. I've converted someone to alcoholism.
Welcome to alcoholism.
That'll put hair on your chest, boy.
Yes. All right. Well, we're gonna
But
head back out. I'm gonna ask her for her son's name, and then when she tells me,
Timon, she says.
okay, address him. So Timon, I'm gonna take out my dagger and give it to him and say, here, defend your family with this until we get back.
He looks at it like holy sh. And you can see him sort of like the pointy stick sort of just like drops out of his hand and rolls across the room. And he's like, this, you know, you could see the happiness in his eyes, you know, he's like, and the frankly unadulterated violence. You can tell that he's probably going to join Ono at some point in that whole head kicking thing. He wants in. You know, that
so now we've created a murderous alcoholic. Yay us.
Our job here is done.
Yes. Now we can move on and go kill things.
Yes. So yeah, after we get the bird's eye view, and if there's nothing else, then yeah, we'll tell them to wait till we get back and then head towards the prison.
So do you want me to continue scouting, or at this point are we just
When she said she hasn't seen someone for several days and we haven't seen anything, I think we should just go straight there and
go as a force to the prison? All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, our job here is done. We've created a murderous alcoholic.
Our job here is done.
Our job here is done. All right. Sorry, I just want to make sure I want to capture that.
It's a good thing we're a good party.
And now I have a new character for the next party.
Murderous alcoholic Timon of the Sunken Quarter.
Murderous alcoholic who was saved by B Team.
All right, so yeah, you leave them there, and you're basically saying that we'll be back for you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, what'd you say, Jen?
I said that's hysterical. I love that as a character.
Right.
It all started when?
It all started when I lived in the Sunken Quarter with my mother, who was running away from a dwarven pimp, and some nice people came and gave us food and weapons and alcohol. and then set me on the path to righteousness.
And they demolished all.
Righteousness meaning sneak attack with bleed.
All right, so you guys go back out into the rain and head towards the towards where you think the prison is, over on the edge of the cliff.
So northeast at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. You guys kind of like punch through there, and you do see as you approach the edge of the land, essentially the shore. And it's not a shore. You think that it's more like a cliffside where it like drops off into the thing. But you do see sort of in the distance a what looks to be an old, somewhat broken down, incredibly rusted. I mean, like the rust is extreme. Iron fence, with iron posts and spikes on the top, which is about 6 feet tall. That seems to run, I don't know, about 100 feet to the north. Does seem to be some sort of gate, but you can't really get a good look at it from here.
Yeah, because iron gates fare very well next to salt water.
Sure they do.
Are we caught up yet? The party? I mean, are we?
Oh yeah, you guys have
we're
joined
all-
them.
We're all together.
We're all together and almost
Heading-
heading to
Heading towards the prison,
the prison.
or what we think is the prison. So onward and forward. Do
Okay.
we get stopped by this gate, or
No, well, I mean, there's like a little path there, and eventually you find yourselves on a different map.
oh, well, there we go.
One moment.
That's progression.
Let the killing begin.
Let's see if this works.
Yay.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay.
That sounded just like.
All right.
We're done.
Hey,
See a bunch of
Uh,
blocks.
Yeah, you should be able to see. You know what it probably is. Hold on a second. Let me sort.
I think it's Don.
No, it's my stupid. Hold on a second.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, it's Don's fault.
Nope, it's my fault
No,
because I didn't
Don's here.
set the light.
Don's here. We'll make it his fault.
We'll make it his fault.
I've got thick skin.
Can Wraith, can you see anything on this
Uh,
map?
At this point,
I can see it.
Yes, sunken, and then
Yeah.
the stuff under it. So
Wow,
Yeah, I see a whole map.
I see
Okay.
that.
Hold on.
I don't
I'm
see
getting- I'm
anything.
getting there.
scroll left.
I scrolled out to the frames.
Right, but I mean, the map that I'm seeing is all the way to the left.
I see it.
There you go.
There we go. All right, let me get everybody's vision intact here. We're just gonna give everybody, it's daytime, so I'm gonna give everybody 60. Bondrum, I just hit you. Poe, you're next. Sorry, the old things that I dragged in to do this did not have light associated with them. So hold on. Oh no, you're next. And then Arendar. Give me 2 seconds.
Interesting.
My neighbor, you guys can't hear it, I'm sure, but my neighbor, who is a piano teacher, I can hear him practicing
Wow.
next door.
Does he gotta run through an amp or something?
I don't know what it is. Well, no, our houses are pretty close together. So, but yeah, he likes to practice at night. Sometimes he practices like trombone and things like that. He's a multi-instrumentalist. It's actually kind of
You're doing
nice.
Phantom of the Opera songs.
It's kind of nice till he does the same passage like 7 times if he can't quite get it.
No kidding. All right. So all of you should be able to see at this point. Can all of you see?
I can.
And everybody sees the map
A
on.
map called Sunken.
Although
map called
just to let
Sunken.
you know, my token does not have a health bar or a name.
Okay. That's odd.
Same here. I can see
I can see Ono's health bar and his name. So if you
I can
can't,
see Wraith's name and health bar.
can you?
Yes.
It
But
could be
I,
that yours is just different. You don't need to see your name
Okay.
because you know it's you. Does anybody else see
Yeah.
anybody other's name is not showing?
Just, what is that?
Oh no, stop jumping off cliffs.
Oh, sorry. Ah,
There's a
Titus
path.
is missing a name. Titus is missing a name, and everybody else I can see.
All right,
Yeah,
hold
I
on.
can see Titus's name and health bar. So
I
it's,
see everybody's names.
Okay,
um,
cool. All right, should be fine. All right, so you guys find eventually you guys are as you approach and you can see these fences, you see that there's a path. And this path sort of leads downward almost under the fences. It's kind of in, you can sort of see here, it's almost in like a little crevice. These are raised areas, compared to a sunken area that you guys are sort of going to. As you approach, I just want to make sure I got this right. Hold on a sec.
I still can't see this person's name.
Reload the page, Jennifer. I just did that and it fixed it. There's some kind of lag for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, you can't really. Hold on, I'm going to do it too.
and
Oh
I-
no, it's because I'm logged
hello.
in for whatever reason. My player version is Titus. So
What?
yeah, I don't know why.
yeah, reloading worked for me as well. Thanks, Gordon.
All right, so yeah, so you guys are you approach this and it actually sort of winds down in between these like shelvish areas, and it ends at this area where Wraith is standing is a rusty gate. There's the fences are sort of in line there. You can see the red there, and that's that iron fence. The rust here on these doors is extreme. Just like it's more rust. I mean, you could probably punch through it. It's so rusty. You can see the gate itself, which is you can see used to have some sort of major locking mechanism on here, but is all rusted and sort of like a big wad of metal at this point. Is sort of all rusted, and there's the door is like half open, and you can see that there is a small, what looks to be maybe brass plaque. It's not corroded because it's brass, but it does have a lot of like gook on it, just from the years of just standing out in the thing. And it says Carcer Tevensum.
What?
Carcer Tevensum. Anybody got?
Do I know what language that is?
I'm gonna do a linguistics check on it.
This is what it says.
That was easy.
All right, what was your linguistics check?
Oh, sorry.
And Titus, do you want to? Yeah, you can do one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Fondy blasted it.
Oh well, this is obviously an archaic version of Talden, essentially an archaic version of Common, and Carcer Tevensum is essentially Tevin's prison, is the name of it, and looks like this is how it would be translated.
So this is what we were looking for.
This is where we is.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, yes. Beyond the gate, it looks like a courtyard of some sort. There seems to be some sort of cliff wall. You can hear the sound of waves smacking into stones over the side. You'd think that this is the river itself on the other side, and it's really cracking into there. There are more fences and stuff like that in this little courtyard that frankly don't look like they could fence in a child. They're all sort of broken down and rusty and that kind of stuff. And you can see that there is a couple of things. These things that you can see here are statues, and largely they're different, but each statue shows they're fairly crudely done, but it shows people with manacles, with their heads down. Some of them are sort of chained to some unseen thing, that kind of stuff. It is essentially, these statues are all people who look to be in some sort of bonds or imprisoned or shackled. But that's as much as you can see from here. It does look like this outside of this courtyard. There does seem to be a path going to the north, but it's hard to see beyond there. You can sort of see some of those fences along the edge of the courtyard. In this case over here, the fence is completely rusted away. And you can't see much, but you don't see, the rain is such that you can't see much in detail, I should say. But you could certainly hear the splash of waves against something.
I'm gonna put mage armor on myself.
Okay.
Get through the gate, second to get through the gate. Because it could take a minute.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like there's anything that I could try to unlock, open. It's all a rusty, nasty mess.
Yeah, the locking mechanism. I mean, you recognize that there is a locking mechanism on this gate, but it's so rusty and
Right.
debilitated that
So
it couldn't be locked, let alone unlocked. It doesn't matter because the gate itself is ajar.
well,
It's
then I'm just
standing
gonna-
open.
I'm gonna
Is
go
it a
through.
jar or a gate?
It's a jar gate.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna go through.
I love that show, Jargate SG-1.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was a great show. All right, so you go in there. Yeah, so you can see as you go into the courtyard, you can see that the dirt of the path, where you can see sort of like in this yellow area here, sort of gives way to mud and muck as you get closer to the edge of the wall.
Okay.
You don't think it's deep or anything. I mean, you don't think it's quicksand or what have you. But there's just a lot of. It's possible that over decades, a lot of crap has maybe got flung up here or rained down or leached into here somewhere because I mean, you can see that this is mostly just like mud.
Okay.
Means we're gonna run out of dry pretty quick.
Yeah, it looks like it.
On path through.
But we can sort of follow the cliff edge to the north.
Mhm.
And I know at this point we can't see it, but if we keep going north, it looks like eventually we'll run into a staircase of some sort.
Those are more just the same statues last along the harbor.
Yeah, statues, and they're all different, but they show people in various stages. The word that comes to mind is bondage, but I don't want to say that because that's wrong.
Imprisonment. They're in
Pris-
various
imprisonment,
stages of
yeah.
Imprisonment.
Manacles, and it's different kinds of people too. It's like some human, there's a dwarf there, there's an elf there, but they all have like manacles or chains on their feet, or they're bound in some way. They all are exemplary of being prisoners of some kind.
So do we just want to move north?
Sure.
So I'm gonna sort of stick, once I get here, I'm gonna sort of stick closer to the cliff edge.
Okay.
In hopes that if this is mud, it's more shallow or has something sturdier underneath of it, closer to the cliff edge than it would to say go out on the edge of it.
Well, so when you hit the more muddy area, one thing you notice is the mud itself is not very deep, maybe an inch. It's not like a mud pit.
Yeah.
What it is pretty slippery though. I mean, your first tentative step is like, whoop, whoa, you could feel sort of like your foot wanting to sort of run away with it.
So I'm gonna take out an arrow and sort of use it to prod the ground.
Okay.
Just to make sure I don't get us into an area that's gonna suddenly be deep.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna move, I don't know, maybe half movement to just be careful. But at this point, I'm gonna wait until everybody sort of forms up behind me.
Okay.
Without
Do you
I'm
guys
gonna
want to
get
go
too
ahead and
far
move
ahead.
your dudes inside the thing, or move to where you want to? If you guys want to line up behind Wraith, go ahead and move it the way you want to do it. Glad you could make it, Don.
Hi, Don.
Welcome.
Hola.
Happy New Year, Don.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Heard you made that dragon cry after I left.
We showed him the errors of his ways.
Nice.
It's
Did
all
Mike
your-
tell you? Did Mike tell you go ahead and stock up on one free item of your choice?
Hey,
No, he failed to mention that.
We're gonna go after the aspect of Dayhawk, and in order to prepare for this, we get to level up to 20
Nice.
and go ahead and find one really nice item
Do you have this in
Min
writing?
Carol will supply it for us. Pardon?
Do you have this in writing?
No, but Steve's good for it. He's not like some DMs.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
We're fighting gods and we're only 14th level.
I've been promised an artifact and have yet to see it. That's what happens when you text drunk less and he forgets.
I do not recall any of that.
I have it in text message form, so I do have it in writing.
I have to make a call to Verizon.
T-Mobile. If you're gonna get my shit erased, it's T-Mobile at this point.
All right, so you guys are where you want to be. Titus, you're good. Gonna hang back.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
I mean, what can I do?
5, 10, 15. So half movement, prodding the ground, trying not to slip and fall.
Okay. As
I'll
you get
use-
into
I'll use acrobatics if necessary.
all right, as you get into that area, you realize that it is very slippery. Since you're being very careful, you're able and you're sort of testing the mud beforehand before you get into there. You do not need to make a roll. However, as you get closer to this area over here, you realize that area slopes downward towards
Towards water.
towards the edge where there's no fence.
Okay.
You think
Yes,
you can get by there, but anybody else? Maybe not.
So
They
then,
Why don't you take a rope with you and then,
well, hang on. That's what I was about to get to. There's a statue
Hey,
here.
was that a pun? Take a rope, hang on. You want to quote that, Les?
I got it.
There's a statue here, right?
Hold on. Yeah, there's a statue there.
Okay.
Yeah, any of those like weird
5,
kind of
10,
like
15,
white
20,
things, those are
25, 30,
statues.
35. Okay, so that's within 50 feet. So I'm gonna move to this statue.
Okay.
Again, 5, 10, 15, prodding the ground, testing it. And I'm gonna
Okay.
tie off a rope to this statue.
Gotcha.
It looks fairly solid.
It looks fairly solid. Yeah, the statue itself. I mean, you could give it a shake and it doesn't move.
Okay. So I'll tie her
You
off.
do, as you
Go ahead.
approach though, you do get. Yeah, there's a point where you're like slipping kind of a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you're able to control yourself as you hit that
Yeah.
statue. But yeah, you're like, man, this is slippery as shit.
You know, I had to go down my slanted driveway in ice in St. Louis.
Yep.
Slide down and catch myself on the mailbox. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
and then figure out how you're getting back up?
No, well, then you get in the grass and stomp through the snow, and then you move
Right.
the fuck out of St. Louis where the air hurts your face. Where there's snow and ice and the air hurts your face, you just bail. At any rate, now that I have a rope tied to this statue, I'm gonna take the end of it, right? So that I can just drag it along, and I'll move back up here. 5, 10, 15. Doing the same thing, just dragging the rope behind me. My intention is to go up to this other statue and tie it off.
Okay, you can see that there is a little bit of rusty fence there. You could probably, I mean, if you get to like here, you could probably just like sort of move it around over the fence or through the fence to get in there. I do need you to make an acrobatics check though.
I figured 20.
No problem. I mean, as you move through there, you're like starting to worry about Vondrum.
Well, that's why I'm putting the rope line up.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you can get. So I'm assuming that the rope will essentially be like here, like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I make it to the other end and can tie the rope off to the other statue, I don't
You
want
do.
to tie it off to the gate or to the rusted fence because that's just going to break.
Yeah. No, you could tie it up to the statue itself.
Okay, so moving forward, again, half speed each time. If I get up to here, I'll tie the other end of the rope and knot it off on that statue and create a rope line about, like 2-3 feet off the edge
Okay.
so that if anybody slips, they can catch that.
They can catch that rope. Yep. Okay.
Now,
Good,
the
good
other-
idea.
The other thing about it is you might be able to use the rope
Yeah, why don't
Kinda
you
to
just use
hold-
the rope as railing?
to hold on to and guide yourself up here. But once you get to this spot, you'll have to switch over to the rusted
To the fence. Yeah.
fence. Because there's nothing for me to tie rope off to give you a good lead like in this area to keep you away from the edge of the water.
Well, technically, if you did the rope and wrapped it around, so the last loop that went around was on the west side of those statues, it would go pretty much right along the fence line.
Yeah,
So instead of going middle to middle, it would
it
be
would go,
on the left side.
yeah, it would basically, depending on the way you wrapped them, it could go, you
It
know,
would go
from
on the
this,
left side of both of them.
from this edge to this edge.
which
Yeah,
then-
theoretically that would work. Yeah.
Which then would put it pretty much right with the fence line, so.
And then the other thing
fence
that I
until
would.
You have no fence, and then you use the rope.
Yeah,
And
the other
then-
thing I would suggest, is if someone else has a length of rope, tie yourselves off to each other.
So that if somebody falls in,
That
you
way
all
it's
go in
either-
afterwards.
Either we all win or it's a TPK.
No, that way you use this rope to guide yourself there. If someone does slip and fall, the
Yeah,
person in front of them and behind them can pull them back.
right.
Using
that's
this
good.
rope, using this rope to hold on.
That's a good idea. I
So
do
like
have it.
instead of it like that kind of thing.
Right.
Right.
Got it.
So-
Okay.
And fairly.
Bondrum
taut.
got your message. Good point. No problem there.
I'll pull it as taut as I possibly can. To
Right.
make that a point of strength. And then if everybody ties themselves together,
Yeah, I've got
Mm.
50 feet of rope. So
yeah. And the other guys, they have something, not maybe everybody, but they'll have something that will allow them to make a roll to try to not slip. So I
Mhm.
don't think
Yeah.
this is gonna be, everybody's gonna go bailing towards the water. It's just, this maybe makes it a little safer in case one person has a bad roll, we can get them back.
Bondrum's going to suggest that we all keep our eyes peeled with perception checks on the water, as we are just a delicacy walking right in front of. I feel like there's a buffet now open sign that just lit up somewhere 20 feet underwater.
So you're saying I walked by all this and was not tasty enough to get anything's attention?
Well, you might have got the attention, then they're rallying the troops. I don't know. It just seems awfully convenient for a sea creature.
Yeah, hey, I saw a half elf. Let's get up here and wait for more.
Okay.
See, that I feel like that is just I mean, it's like I feel like that is you're basically saying, look, our DM would put these kind of things together, like a slippery slope and a bunch of sharks in the river, to sort of mess us up. Honestly, I'm a bit taken aback by the lack of trust.
You should be complimented.
he's like, I wouldn't do that. The module did.
Yeah,
Hold on, I gotta-
there are, however, an entire family of bull shark just off this little thing here. Wait.
I gotta delete my shark. Hold on a second. All right, so here's the deal: is you guys gonna tie yourselves together?
Yep.
Okay, so you tie yourselves together. What you need to do is everybody needs to make a DC 10 acrobatics check or slip and fall. If you slip and fall as you traverse this area, you begin to slide towards the edge. You get another check, a reflex save, to see if you can grab the rope or if you go over the edge. So if for all of you guys to get point, basically I need everybody to roll an acrobatics check, DC 10. And if you miss that, then a reflex save, DC 15, to try and grab that rope and hold on as you slide towards the edge.
Can we just start off down at this edge and just kind of?
If you want to hold on to the rope, you still have to make the acrobatics check, but you don't have to make the reflex save. You'll fall, but you can pull yourself back up because you're physically holding onto the rope.
I think that's the safer
A
route.
DC 10 on the reflex, and then a DC 15 on
Nope.
the
10 on
Reverse, the
acrobatics.
opposite.
10 on the
I say
acrobatics.
we go down here and start down here. That way we only have to do the other.
Yeah,
Can I phone a friend? I need a
What a friend.
just hold on to the rope and don't you have like a guidance or something that you
I
could give
know.
yourself?
no guidance, not for what I memorized today, and I don't have.
Maybe Titus has guidance. I can't remember. Do you
I'm
have that
sorry,
cantrip?
do I have what?
Guidance?
It's a
Is it-
cantrip, so you could do
Have
it.
3 ropes? What if I was to tie myself with 3 ropes?
What if we just have Arendar pick the dwarf up
And just toss them.
and bowl it
Toss me.
across the
That
slip,
really might be best.
the
I was gonna
slip
say,
crease.
do you need a spin or can I just do like a straight bowl?
No, in this case,
But have to actually-
you don't want to hook.
You don't
Little
wanna
English
hook.
on, oh, no hook?
Yeah, it just goes.
No, the hook sounds like a bad idea. 'Cause
That's a-
either he's gonna go splunking in the water or smash it into a cliff. A good straight ball at this point would be nice.
Poe approaches the line. Sploosh.
He made it.
Yeah, I got a 17. I am.
All right.
Nice.
Poe makes it. What about the rest of you? Aradar rolls a 12, slippery, but holds onto the rope. Titus, no problem. You practically dance across there. Oh no, 28 does
Oh, no,
actually dance.
Oh no, cartwheels
Vondrum,
across there.
Right. And
Vondrum
Vondi.
rolls an 8. And so you see the elf and he's holding onto the rope. He's like, oh no, I've got a trouble here. Is getting quite muddy as he begins to slide towards the thing. You can see, Vondrum's leg. Oh, Vondrum thing. All right, well there we go. The rope is wet. A natural one. Vondrum goes sploosh.
But Vondi's tied to
Can
the
two of
rest
us
of
that were
them,
next
right?
to us do like a reflex save to like grab him at the last minute?
Well, they're all tied together.
Yeah, you guys are all tied together. Well, I guess then he wouldn't necessarily. So, but he does go over the edge. The rest of you, actually, you know what I need is a strength check to see if you can hold Vondrum on the rope without sliding yourselves.
And is it negative 20 feet to the water?
It's 20 feet down to the water. Yeah,
Right.
Oh, good.
So at this point, Vondi's kind of just hanging off the edge.
for now. But if you guys keep rolling 6s on your strength check, I have a feeling that there will
Okay,
be several people.
Strength
going off
checks are
this.
like so broken in this game that it's pathetic.
165 pounds, if
The
anybody's.
D20, yeah, my character can like lift.
Look
go
at
to
all
sheet,
those.
He can lift. Where is it? Heavy load for me is 400 pounds. I can lift 800 pounds.
So
What can
roll
you
the damn die and save
what-
Vondi.
Roll, let's see.
Yeah, tough guy. Let's see you do it.
Hey, tough guy.
You should have like plus 39.
No, like I said, strength checks are broken in this game. It's almost
There you
all-
23. All right, Arendar is holding fast. Ono is basically giving up his rope. Poe has done the same. Titus, let's see yours, man. Strength check.
Strength check, okay.
With the 23, I should have lifted him off the edge.
Damn it.
This is just a D20 with your strength bonus on it.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to find is my strength bonus.
What's your strength score?
Probably
My
10.
strength score is, oh, here it is, +0.
So
Okay, perfect.
Just a D20.
All right, so roll a D20, okay.
Roll
Come on,
big.
Natty. Come on, Natty.
I'm gonna try.
Mm.
Nice. All right. So, Arendar, you are basically Vondrum is sort of clonking against the wall, and underneath, is waves are hitting this wall. You don't see any sharks, but you're still hanging there. Arendar, you're doing the heavy lifting here. You've got yourself braced. You've got Vondrum. You're holding him. It's not slipping. The rest of the guys are like, whoa. They're the problem is with those guys. The rest of those guys have hit some of the mud, so they're slipping and they can't bring leverage. You've kind of got it. You got one foot wedged up against a rusty piece of fence, and you got it, and you're like, a little help, come on, guys. You're holding steady, but you can't drag him up. Wraith, what about you? You gonna do anything here?
Yeah, I'm gonna move to. I don't know where I can move to. Actually, from here, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to here. So
All right.
you'll have to decide if I need to make a roll one way or
No,
the other.
you're fine. You're used to this.
And I'm going to grab on further down the rope that Arendar's pulling on
Okay.
and try to add my strength to pull Vondi up.
Give me a strength roll.
And my strength is okay.
Survey says.
There you go.
16.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you grab onto that rope, and actually, as you sort of stagger around, you realize that grabbing onto Arendar's rope is not necessarily as good, and you reach out and you grab onto Ono's rope,
Okay.
and you begin cranking up. It's slow going, but after a few minutes, you begin not a few minutes, a few seconds, you begin cranking it up. Vondrum is climbing the walls here, not seeing much. Yeah, just roll until you get one.
Roll till you get a good one.
Looking over my shoulder and looking again and looking again.
Well, you don't see
Oh,
much.
and
other
see,
than-
there's a jellyfish.
You don't see much. You don't see any shark fins slicing through the river water. But it does look like there may be rocks and stuff down there, and you don't want any part of that. Wraith grabs Ono, and Ono is sort of like cranking back. Poe and Titus begin to get their grips, and they're able to sort of move back a little bit. And finally, it takes a little bit, but you guys get Vondrum back up where he can grab onto the green rope and sort of steady himself, and you begin to move again towards the north.
How many times do we have to roll to get across?
Once you've managed to survive this, you don't have to roll anymore. You guys can make it all the way.
Hey guys, I'm signing off. I just wanted to check some stuff, and since you guys are on, I thought I'd say hi.
All right, good to see you, brother.
Hi,
Bye,
Dom.
guys.
See you, bud.
I'm gonna give my brandy to Arendar. Thank you. It's all yours, but I won't let go of the rope yet.
All right, you guys take it very slowly, very easily, very carefully. People, everybody's got their one eye on the rope and one eye on Vondrum, but you guys all do manage to get over here into this area where the mud is much less problematic, and you feel like you are safe from falling in the water.
So we all move over to here.
Okay, next module. Feels that way anyway.
That was a hell of an adventure. Level up. No, I'm just kidding.
We survived the
slippy slope.
slippery
All right,
slope.
as you guys move into
With
this
Vondrum.
courtyard, you do check something here real quick. So you do so there's it's another courtyard that you guys see. This one seems to be, you can see that there's the remnants of what look to be like holes in the ground where wooden poles might have stand. In fact, some of them still have the remnants of like rotten wood sort of in there. In one corner over here by this fence, you can see a single chain with a manacle on it, rusted and put away. It looks like this may have been a processing center, maybe, where they were like, okay, welcome to the jail. Here's your manacles. Let's go. You do, as Wraith pointed out earlier, where you guys were moving across there, you do see what looks to be a set of stone steps and a little platform that seems to be going downwards on the other side of the cliff. The fence here is rotted away, but there's enough. I'm sorry, here, right about here is rotted away and corroded. But you do see that there does seem to be some sort of, I mean, it's an odd sort of platform that's sort of outcropped, and there is a mechanism over here by the statue that's sort of sitting on the ground. It's sort of, trapezoidal kind of looking thing. It's heavily corroded, but there is a thing here that is just sort of sitting there. You're not sure what it is, though.
This isn't as slippery as the other side, right? This is just flat.
No, you're fine, slippery wise.
Yeah.
So the mechanism is sort of right there where that where I've placed that square. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Drinking beer tonight, so.
Okay.
So do we just want to head towards the stairs, or do we want to check out what that mechanism is?
I'll be bait for the device. It's going to get us in a fight. There's a map here, so there's going to be a fight.
I think the map was here to see if he could drown Vondi.
I think so too. What kind of device? What did he say that was?
He
Some
said,
device, but we don't know what it is.
yeah. So I could go and
I'll
do
check it
like
out.
a trap check on it.
Okay. I
But
just figured something's gonna happen over there.
I don't know if we couldn't just go straight to the stairs, which I'm assuming go down into whatever the submerged prison would be,
Right.
and just ignore the bait on there's some unknowable mechanism, right?
Carl, I can fly too. She can go over there and see if there's anything above ground over in the blacked out area.
It's a weird place. I was gonna say, it might be something that opens a door.
That's
That
possible.
maybe-
I suppose. I
That
mean,
or
it's,
Here he
they
is.
use boats. They could have used boats too.
yeah,
The stairs go somewhere.
you guys let me know what you want me to do.
That would be a great place for a boat to tie up to with some type of a.
Yeah. Hey, Les, I'm gonna send Lorelei real quick over to that black area just to see if she sees anything above the water.
A black area. So the black area is
Right here?
the other part of this map. I can't really show you that.
No,
Okay,
he
so-
means
Yeah, the
right
water.
here.
I mean, so Lorelei will. Oh, this black area here.
Yeah, is it just water
just
out that way?
water.
Is that black part underground I guess is what I'm.
Yeah, no, it's just a part of the map. It's water. It's the river that goes out that way. These, if you, yeah, I mean, and it's largely there's some waves. Keep in mind this is a big river that's doing that. I mean, Mississippi size, maybe even larger, at least in the space that we're talking about here. There are waves that are clapping up against this wall. Lorelei can see a couple of things. Where is she? So I can tell her what she sees. Where do you want to send her?
I was just gonna send her out across the water.
About there?
Yeah.
All right, so give me a quick perception check for Lorelei. 15. All right, so there's a couple of things she sees. One, she does not, because of the storm, she doesn't see any aquatic life kind of thing. So I know Vondrum was worried about bull sharks. She doesn't see any bull sharks kind of kicking around or anything like that. In fact, she doesn't see any animals or anything in the water. She does notice a couple of things though. One, this stairway ends in a bunch of crumbled stone, about what looks to be about 3/4 of the way down to somewhere. There looks to like there may have been a platform of some sort over here, but it's not there now. And so that's that there's a lot of crumbled stone over here, and the stairway doesn't look like it goes all the way down to where it's supposed to. Here, she can see something else, sort of about 15 feet below the thing, about maybe 5 feet above what would normally be the surface of the river, but maybe now. You've got waves kind of blowing into there. She can see that there is what looks to be some sort of like a doorway of some kind. It's relatively wide, and there looks to have been some sort of like iron gate or something over there, but it's rusted off and it's hanging down into the water. And sort of as the waves hit it, it's sort of like you can see it's sort of scraping up against the stone of the facing of the prison.
So like
area.
a sewer outlet or something?
Yeah, maybe a sewer. It looks too big to be a sewer though. I mean, it's probably 8 feet across and another 8 or 9 feet high.
Boats would enter. Boats would go in and out of the prison.
It's too high for boats.
What if the tide was higher?
If the tide was higher, maybe. I mean,
This thing's been
guess.
sinking, so this used to be way up in the air then.
Yeah, good point.
So
Lorelei can sort of see-
rappel off
it
the
looks like
side
it
to
could-
get to it.
Well, maybe. I mean, yes. I mean, theoretically, there's nothing stopping you.
Is it not underwater, Les? It's just
It's not quite underwater, no. But the waves are splashing in there, so there is water going in it. The level of the water right now is probably maybe a foot to 2 below the flat part of that this opening.
Wraith, you want to check out that lever, see if you can figure anything out? I'll stop.
Yeah, I can take a look at it. So I'll move up to here. No, hang on.
Okay. You take a look at this mechanism.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do I guess perception check for traps.
Okay.
17.
Okay. You don't see any traps on it. It's some sort of metal mechanism. It's heavily corroded. It does look like a gear, or it's definitely got a cylinder in it, and there's what looks to be the remnants of some sort of crank
That was a,
that may have been on the side.
that's a dwarven perception check with using stonecraft for finding hidden doors and
Okay.
stonework stuff.
Is there a specific place you're looking for those, or?
Yeah, same place that Wraith is looking down where the
Oh, same as the thing. Okay. Yeah. So, what'd you roll? I'm sorry. I had to refresh.
25.
25. You don't see any secret doors or anything. One thing you do notice, though, is that the stone at the edge there, sort of opposite the mechanism, is kind of worn down a little bit, like eroded through use or wear.
I'm looking for my pluses for,
So where's the stone worn down?
Hold on, I'll show you. Right about there.
But it's on the face of it, not on the top of it.
Well, it's like on the edge. So it's like, so there's a flat part, and it goes, it's an edge of a thing, which is
Okay.
which is metered stone, but it's like there's almost like a crease or a cut in the stone edge, not very far from where that mechanism is.
So this is probably an elevator. It used to be. But,
The mechanism, Wraith, the mechanism to you looks like it was maybe some sort of crank.
Yeah, I'll let everybody know that.
how about with a 30? Does that help with Gondrum's?
What's that skill?
Actually, it's stone masonry.
Stone masonry. Okay, so you're looking at the area that Poe is pointing out.
I actually did a spellcraft, which was inaccurate, so that's only got to be a 24. So that's
24.
Yeah, so
All right.
there-
As you go over there and you're talking with Poe a little bit, you also see that there looks like, there's a couple of small, well, I say small, they're probably an inch in diameter, holes in the stone. And the stone around them is discolored. It's sort of like an orangey color, but they are on about about 8 inches away from the part of the stone that has the notch in it. So if you look on either side, there's like a little hole with some like orange kind of discoloration around the hole on the stone.
like
about
where
8
rusty chains might go through, where rusty chains might go through.
Or something may have been attached there.
and-
Maybe a boom of some kind.
yeah,
So to offload boats and maybe shove them into the entrance.
It's possible.
So this is probably got an entrance down below. We just need to get down there somehow.
Well, Lorelei saw that there's definitely a hole in the stone, in the stone facing. It's about and it's definitely a man-made hole in the thing. The water is about 1.5 feet below that, and waves are splashing into there. The gate there looked like Lorelei saw that there was an iron gate that would have been sort of in front of that hole, but it is now hanging loose and sort of corroded, and part of a lot of the probably 70% of it is immersed in the river. It's not there. I mean, it's not keeping anybody out now. She didn't see anything inside though.
And whatever this crank mechanism is, it's so rusted, I can't imagine it would work anymore.
There any evidence of activity less at all? Any kind of survival? Can I do a survival check for?
Sure. You don't see any evidence of like footprints or activity or anything like that. As far as you can tell, this whole area doesn't look like anybody's been here for decades.
That true with the iron gate down below too? It doesn't look like it's been manhandled or.
It's corroded and sort of like it looks like it was left to rot, and it's corroded in the river water and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it doesn't look like anybody has used it for a while. You can see like the same sort of like levels of corrosion on the crank thing. It's the same kind of corrosion on like the hinges and the mechanisms associated with the doorway.
So do you want to check out the stairs? I guess the stairs don't go anywhere. If I go over and look down the stairs, do they
Yeah,
dead end?
Well, you can confirm that what Lorelei says. Basically, the stairs go down. Now you can see up against the wall, there looks to be maybe some entrance about 4 feet below the last stair, but the stairs are all crumbled. And it looks like that at least some pieces of the facing have fallen off as well. You think that maybe this may have been the primary entrance, but looking down at that, you're thinking, man, I don't know that we can get down there. And if you take even a few steps down those stairs, you can see that whole area has been sort of like sheared off a little bit, and crumbled. There's a lot of rock and material that's blocking that entryway. I mean, theoretically, you can remove some of that material and go in that way, but it'd take a while.
So the only option we got to get in is to go down the face over where polearm is and go in that hole.
Well, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, try and go down the stairs and try and remove some of the material and see if that particular entrance is intact. It looks like that was probably the main entrance to the prison, but it looks pretty destroyed.
Right. Whereas we know we've got an opening in the face of this. If we can
It's just wide. That's just wide open. Yeah.
Roger loves a good stone tunnel. He's all about that.
Hmm.
There you go.
Even if you gotta climb a rope down, dangling over water to get there.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's not liking.
Right.
I mean, the nice thing is we wouldn't have to do climbing. We could literally tie someone up, like tie a loop into the rope, sit on it and kind of, grab it. And then us just kind of lower them down.
If you do handholds, isn't that like a +5 or something like that for climbing?
Roger can put handholds in as he goes down. If you put him down first, he's got a pickaxe and the skills.
No, I mean on the rope, if you tie it into handholds, into.
Oh, like the little knots kind of thing.
Bunch of loops or
Yeah.
something.
There used to be a bonus for that. I don't remember what it is
That
anymore.
makes sense.
I think it's +5.
That'd be great.
I mean, we could try to mess with this crank to see if it gives us easier access, but
Okay, I whip out my WD-40
Hmm.
and I spray the crap out of it.
I think whatever this thing was on is gone now, because if there was a crank there, it was cranking something up, and that something is not here anymore, or it's down in the water. Right, unless there's nothing that would.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, you're looking at this thing. There was like a sort of a notch in the stone, and then 2 holes with what look to be rust stains around them. You're guessing that whatever your guess is that there may have been some sort of boom that the crank went through, but that boom's gone. You're not sure where that is. Might be at the bottom of the lake or the river. I mean, but it's not there now.
So it's not gonna help us, so.
And the crank itself is really corroded. I mean, as corroded as anything else is here. So big honks of it. I mean, Wraith, as you sort of examine it, you can knock pieces off of it, because it's so corroded through. But just imagine something metal that's placed in an area very close to river water that's open to, that is exposed to the elements for 25 years.
and I'm sorry, you said this river was saltwater?
It's brackish, so it does connect with the ocean.
Well, it contains salt in it, so yeah.
It does have some
crap out
salt,
of
but
everything.
it's not like ocean water. It's not salty.
Yeah.
Freshwater creatures can live in it.
This was just probably a supply boom that they used to drop in supplies for this prison and
That's what I think too.
run it away.
Yeah.
It would make sense if they had supply boats that would come up. They would come up to here. Theoretically, they might. Historically, the river might have been 5 to 10 feet below the tunnel, in which case they would need a boom to lift crates and stuff like that and swing them into the area. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Plus, you have to assume that that the water level now is higher than normal
Mhm.
because of the
Definitely.
storm, because of the hurricane. So do we want to mess with the stairs, or do we want to try to tie some ropes off on the statues and get into this tube?
Ropes has more danger, but we'd be faster.
Probably less expected too, right?
Well, hopefully no one's here, but yeah, we'll see.
Poe did a survival check. He did not see any other footprints or any other indication that anybody's been here for years.
Yeah, but at the same time,
Something
They
is
did-
here.
yeah, at the same time, they did a focus to find out where the magic for the storm was coming from, and it was this location.
It was this location.
Yeah.
You could actually, you could, you know, as you guys are here, you do feel like that the storm is not as powerful here. It's still a storm, but it's not as powerful as, for example, if it was in town.
Anybody ever heard of,
Rope up here and go down.
Anybody ever heard of using a spiritual weapon as like a broom, a flying, a witch broom to like hang on to and
What's a
drop
good
down somewhere?
I have not heard of that.
idea? A spiritual weapon hold weight.
So I know that spiritual weapons are considered somewhat incorporeal. They're immune to
Right.
attack. They're immune to damage from physical attack. So I don't know that that would mean that they would be able to hold a rope or hold weight for that matter. But
Bit of force.
If it requires a climbing skill, I could be the first one down if you guys can all hold me. And I like Gordon's idea of putting loops or knots or something on the rope to make it easier to climb.
yeah. Well, and I'm thinking we can tie off on one of the statues seem pretty solid still.
Yeah,
They do seem to be solid enough, certainly, to hold the ropes. They did before.
Yeah, so we could tie off on one or even two of the statues and create a triangle to
right.
the single rope going down to the thing and put knots in it if that ends up giving us pluses. But
It'll give you a
ultimately,
plus.
it sounds like we're gonna have to try to climb down. Would you say that the hole was what, a foot? 2 feet?
Put a foot or two above the water level.
Above the water, it's about 8 feet by 9 feet in thing. It's a big hole.
How far is it from the surface of
From the river, about 1.5 feet.
No, I mean, how far,
Where
we're
we're
standing, from where we're standing, whatever this thing is, if it's concrete.
Oh, about
stone,
15 feet down.
Okay.
So it's 15 feet down to the hole.
All right, you guys don't see the word prison or anything there, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Les,
just
I have-
don't mess with my head.
No, I don't.
Les?
see-
I'm sorry, I have a stupid question. What's this thing here?
Those are the stairs going down.
Got it. All right.
That are kind of blocked.
That was a stupid question.
It was, right.
Yeah, but we looked at the stairs and it appears that they're clogged.
Copy.
The stairs are sort of unstable. And there's a
Well, the
lot of
stairs are made of
material.
stone, so they don't look. They're not as unstable as, say, the stairs back at that
Right.
tower. They're made of stone. The problem is they turn into like crumbly rock. They're broken starting about here. And then you'll also notice, and I think Arendar looked over the side. And he basically said, "Look, part of the spacing of the stone cliff has fallen in as well. So there was some sort of damage that's taking place here. So the stairs are damaged, and it looks like potential. I mean, realistically, the entrance to the prison is damaged on that end. Now, Arendar thinks that if you guys spend some time, maybe an hour or 2 hours, you guys can move enough rock away where you can enter the prison from the front door, essentially. But it'll take time and effort.
And I don't think we have any way to quickly do that. Do we have like, no, that would be too high level, I think, like stone to mud or anything
don't
else.
We're not high enough level for
I
that.
don't have that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not high enough
Battery
level
this-
for that yet.
Anybody even have a shovel? I don't even have a shovel.
I do have a shovel.
Androm's
I don't have much written on my character sheet, but I do have a shovel.
Mine's on my character sheet too. I'm all about it.
So I was looking at that, I was like, why do I have a shovel? It's like, we must have had like missed one at one point or needed one. And so next time we got into town, I put one on there.
I'm having a mystery man moment here.
I shovel well.
I shovel well. What a great movie that is. All right, so what do you think? I mean, it's possible. I mean, certainly with a shovel, that would help and cut down on the time it would take if you wanted to try and go through that area.
Plus, how
Um,
hard is it to like rappel down with a knotted rope? Do you have a DC on that?
You have a DC?
mhm, I do.
What is that?
I don't want to say.
What was
It's
you
12.
looking kind of,
It's a
he's
DC
not-
12.
He's not gonna share.
No, I will. It's DC 12.
what's the DC penalty for me for carrying someone?
+4. You talking about carrying a dwarf on your shoulders or something like a
Yeah.
backpack?
Hmm.
But
Plus
the
4.
backpack that hangs on, so that
Or
must
-4, I should say.
be more
Right.
complicated because this backpack clings like death.
On the other thing, we could tie a rope off on one statue, knot it up and use
Over.
that as the rappel down. And then tie onto the other statue, a safety rope. In case they fall, it catches them. And once they get in the tunnel, they untie the safety rope. We pull that back up and add it to the next person. So I mean,
That would work.
there's a way to make it sort of as safe as possible. There is no way to make it
So
completely.
is the 12 with the handholds we're putting on there?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a little trickier than just walking across a muddy thing. You're sort of rappelling down. You have to do that. Now, Chuck had a good idea. I think that the safety rope thing, that would have some benefits to you.
How about is there
especially-
a statue right over that hole, Les? Could we just use a statue and just basically tie ourselves off and then lower?
It's not
Okay.
right over. The hole is basically
Right in the middle.
directly below
Yeah,
this
it's in the middle.
arrow. Yeah, it's in the middle.
So you tie
It
the,
stretches kind of far. I mean, it's sort of. I mean, so the hole itself is like 8 feet wide. So theoretically, I mean, yeah, if you wanted to tie yourself directly to the statue and you sort of kicked out and kind of came in a loop, you could probably make that work.
How about I'll climb down? And then I can just kind of grab people and pull them in as you lower them.
So you're just going to climb down using handholds and that kind of stuff?
No, you can use the rope.
Oh,
but you can
okay.
Pull that back up and just tie someone to it. My climbing is a 10, so I've got a 10 and I've got to make a 12 DC.
yep, we
That's
can
pretty
all
good.
see this, we can all see this coming. You roll the one on your
I'm gonna
brother,
roll a
and you
one and
dump me in
end
the
up
river,
End up in the drink.
and you dump me in the river. I see it, and then there's bull sharks everywhere.
And then there's a whole family of them.
I mean, as
Yeah,
long
yeah.
as you're tied off to the rope, even if you fall, you're just gonna get wet. It's not like you're gonna.
Right.
Well, and
Well, it's a
that's
little
what I'm
dangerous. I
saying.
mean, you're in hurricane level winds. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be pretty dangerous. People
And-
die in the Mississippi River all the time when it's calm.
And that's what I'm saying. If we use this, if we tie a safety rope to whichever statue we don't use for the rappel rope,
Mhm.
you can measure that to be, you said the thing was what, 8 feet down, 10, 15 feet down?
About 15 feet down, yeah.
You measure the safety rope off at 15 feet. If they fall off of the rappel rope, they get caught by the safety rope and they're basically dangling in front of the entrance.
Yeah,
Someone can grab them, pull them in, untie the safety rope, and we pull that back up.
yep.
Okay.
And I'll go down first since I've got the best chance of making it. And then I
Yeah,
can
you've got the
climb
best
in.
climb, so. But still, with the rappel rope that's knotted and the safety
Yep.
rope just around your waist, that's at about 15 feet, so it puts you in the middle of the hole anyway.
Nope, that's a good idea. That way it's kind of foolproof.
Never
a good plan.
underestimate the power of fools.
Right. All right, well, I'm gonna head down.
All right, so you're going to climb down. So you guys going to rig up both the knotted rope and the safety rope,
Yeah,
and you're going to use both, even with Arendar. I don't know,
Yep.
Arendar. You want to go the sissy route, or I mean,
Yeah.
I think you should just jump off and try and sort of
Just
wing
swan dive
yourself.
in there.
Yeah,
hello,
just
everyone. Hello,
wing yourself
hello,
back in.
everyone. I'm your representative from OSHA. Do not listen to the bald
Yes,
headed man.
yes, we're doing the both ropes for everyone.
I'm-
So
I'm
15.
putting that on the quotes. All right, 15, no problem. You get in there.
So I'm down there and now I'm the one that can grab people and pull them in.
Right, so you basically untie the safety rope. We pull that back up and wrap it around the
Yep.
waist of the next person.
Yep.
You have the end of the rappelling rope, the rope they're climbing down on with all the knots in it. And that way it keeps it somewhat steady. so
And
that
then we
it's-
leave that there once we all get down here. So
Right.
on the way out, if it's the only way out, then I can climb up first and then I can start pulling people up.
Right,
I love that quote. Hi, everyone. I'm your OSHA representative. Do not listen to the ball man. That's one of those context-free quotes you want to put on the internet right there.
All right, then.
So who's next?
People are like, all right, so you get down there. Yeah, you get into it. So you get in there. There's a fair amount of, I'm going to just give you a quick précis. There's a fair amount of water inside the thing. You're on an edge. Can't really see sort of back in the dark. I'm sure you got dark vision and all that kind of stuff. You feel like you're in some sort of room. There's a lot of water in this room. You could hear it sort of sloshing around and that kind of stuff. Your feet are in water and that kind of stuff. But it's a room. I mean, you can sort of see in the dimness back behind you. It's a room.
I was asking, I'm thinking intelligence and constitution,
Sure.
It's actually kind of a large room. And there's several sort of doors and gates, kind of like, well, you're right next to a kind of a gate here.
Okay.
I'm just going to put you right there and see. And I don't know why you didn't move. Why did you move? There we go.
And so
Move.
once we all get
Oh,
in
I
this
know why.
room, if the only way through is through water, we all have water breathing potions that last an hour. So
Yeah, I've actually got mine to where it's easy access. So if I fall in the water, I can just reach down and grab it. And
All right, Arendar, can you see?
yes,
Okay, so you can see some of, you see the like sort of the gray line, that's where the water is. You can see some of the like open doors and gates and things like that, but you can't see much. There's a gate right behind you too. Like
Okay,
a secondary metal gate.
can I move one square?
Sure.
I think next we get Vondi.
Okay, so I just want to look to there before I start bringing people down to make sure
Yeah.
I don't see anything. Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of water in this room. You see the blue areas. That's water, and some of it looks to be fairly deep, maybe 3 or 4 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the opening and start catching people and pulling them in.
All right,
Yeah.
sounds good.
So we'll grab Vondi, tie him off with the safety rope.
Oh, look at this!
Oh, Vondi just spider climbs his ass down there.
So,
Nice.
After the debacle at the statue rope, Vondi grabs as like, give me that knotted rope, grabs it, leaps off.
Does a Tarzan. Does a Tarzan.
Tarzan's in there. All of a sudden, you see Aaron there like, dives out of the way. As Vondrum just kind of like comes Tarzaning in, is like, look, don't discount me.
I love a good tunnel. I'm motivated.
And she lands on the thing with as Arendar is sort of backed out of the way, and so there she is.
Nicely done.
He
Okay.
is. Sorry, I keep doing that. Sorry.
Yep.
And then we'll
Who's
get
next?
Titus.
Titus
Give us
is,
a climbing check.
And I'll be up holding the safety rope.
I'm sorry, a what check?
A
Climb.
climb check. So your
Oh.
strength is 10. So you have a 0. You're not wearing armor, so there's no negatives. So your climb check will just be a D20.
Yep.
And you only need to be to 12. You have a safety rope and you have someone to help and catch you at the bottom. Eek.
So he gets most of the way down before he slips.
Yeah, he slips a little bit, but the safety rope catches him, and he manages to get. He scrambles a little, but manages to get
Nice
into the
one.
thing. Arendar, you realize that this is getting pretty crowded in here, and you're going to have to
So I'm gonna
step
start pushing
in.
people in.
Yeah. All right.
That's why I stepped in, just so I
Okay.
could make sure there was no immediate threat, so I could start shuffling people in as they got here.
Okay.
And
So actually,
Ono-
I'm probably out here, and those two are probably a
Yeah.
step aside.
Can you, Titus and Vondrum, can you guys see where you are on the
right-
other
right side of the
thing?
screen.
From the other thing.
Go over to the
No.
blackness and the right. Go all the way over to the right.
Okay,
Oh, gotcha.
Oh no, what's your climb
Okay.
check?
got it.
No, take a step or two into that room, but don't
Yeah,
go
I get
far.
ready. I was moving in. Got it.
Is it my turn to go?
Oh,
No, well,
did I
no,
go the
I'm-
wrong
Titus.
way?
what I would like
Yes.
to do is the people with the lowest climb checks, have them go in first, so they have the extra help up top and down below. So
yeah.
what's your climb check?
Me?
Yeah.
My climb check, let me find that here. Plus I can climb pretty good. I got a +2, but
So not.
And Poe, what's your climb check?
0.
Okay,
With
so
armor.
next should go Poe. So I'm up there with a reasonable strength to help with the safety rope.
Well, the safety note, you got tied to the,
Yeah, but
he made
still,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he's good.
Okay,
question.
so Poe gets down there. I shuffle him inside.
Okay.
Question. How does one derive one's climb check?
It's a strength-based check, so if you don't have any ranks in climb,
It's a skill, yeah.
it'll
Yes.
be, it'll be 10 plus your strength modifier.
I
Which
see.
is what yours is.
So if if you have a 16 strength, it would be a 12.
I see.
I'm sorry, if you had a 16 strength, it would be a 2.
No, it'd be a 3.
Got it. Okay.
Excuse me, 3. So you'd roll a d20 plus 3.
I see. All right. Should I roll my climb check? No.
Yeah,
Well, what's your strength modifier?
he said his climb check was a +2, so my guess is he's got no ranks and he's got a 14 strength.
Right.
Ready?
Well, that's both of us. So yeah, you go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Oh boy. He slips his hands slip off the rope, and Wraith, you're just like, whoa, as you crank back on that safety rope and make sure that he is okay. Oh no, you find yourself dangling in front of the thing, and Arendar is like, here,
Just out grabs.
come here. They finally get a hold of you and drag you in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kicking and screaming. Oh, wait.
All right, great.
And then-
Dignified.
And then untie the safety rope.
No.
What do you mean? No.
Are you not gonna use it?
Are you
Yes,
gonna leave
I'm
the
gonna use
ropes?
it.
Are you gonna
That's
leave
why
the
you-
ropes here in case
Actually,
you
you know
need to?
what?
You got to get out.
Yeah, you know what? No,
Yeah.
we're leaving the rope that we climbed up and down. We're leaving that there.
Yeah.
The safety rope untie on your end, and I will take the end that came off of Ono and wrap it around my arms. And
Okay,
so now it's secured on my end.
right. So now you're gonna dunk me like a tea bag.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very nice. I love my brother.
Wraith is getting teabagged.
So I'll untie the safety rope so we can keep the rope from the statue, put it around my waist.
Mhm.
Arendar has the other end of it. And then I'm gonna try to do, now that I'm the last one, I'll try to do the climb down. And fail.
All
I
right.
knew this was
Well,
gonna happen.
the fact that the safety rope is with Arendar and the water is only 1.5 feet, you go right into the drink.
Go into the water.
Yeah.
Sploosh. At which point Arendar is like
I
pulling that rope in. You get in the water, you're swimming around, and you're soaked. But no bull sharks or anything like that attack you. You're just drenched. I mean, like you fell in the pool.
Yeah.
But you do eventually get dragged up by your brother, who frankly, you could tell he's desperately holding in his laughter.
Oh, no.
No, he's not. He's laughing his
No.
ass off.
He's just like out with it.
As soon as he hit the water, he started laughing.
Yeah. He's having trouble maintaining the strength roll because he's
Right,
laughing
yeah.
so hard.
Poe can cast prestidigitation or whatever you call it and dry you off.
Does it eject water?
Does it say what do you do? Wring out his clothes?
Cleaning is one of the things it does. So yeah.
Nice.
Clean-
Okay.
Clean,
So-
dry, whatever. So
All right, so yeah, you get done that. So you guys find yourself in this room. The room, you can see that part of the room, you can see the like the white area and the blue area. That blue area is water, and you can tell as you get in here that the sinking of this edifice has caused a lot of uneven sort of flooring. I mean, you step out into some of that thing and you suddenly find yourself in thigh to waist deep water, which is filled up in this area. You can tell that you can feel with your boots underneath that the floor is jagged and rugged, and the sinking is much the idea that this area has been sinking towards the river is much more pronounced here.
Okay, we just kind of spread out and look around the room, and I'm gonna do a perception, listen to see if I hear anything other than the storm.
Okay. So you don't hear anything specifically.
Also looking
Oh,
around, but
no, give me a quick perception check.
Yes, sir. Um,
20. You guys are sort of like wandering around in this water and sort of splashing about. You can see various there's a couple of doors and a couple of these gates which open up into various areas, and they're barred gates, the thing, but the corrosion, again, there's a lot of corrosion in there. Oh no, as you sort of are standing there and looking around, you feel something touch your foot.
what?
I looked in the other direction real quick.
It's gentle.
Oh.
And it's just sort of like but something has reached and is squeezing your foot.
That's horrifying.
It happens a couple of times, and then all of a sudden, something grabs onto your leg and begins dragging you towards the northeast corner. Let me go ahead and roll
Jesus.
this to see if you escape it. Hold on a second.
None of us can see it?
This is pretty much straight out of the Star Wars trash compactor scene.
Oh yeah, it's gotcha. So yeah, something sharp and strong has grabbed around your right leg and is yanking you off your feet. I need you to make a reflex save.
All right, sure. I can. Here we go. Reflex. Easy. Yeah, sure. Here we go. And
Holy crap, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah, okay. You are not it's a great reflex save. You are not dragged off your feet, but you could feel your leg being dragged away. The rest of you, Ono's like, ow, ow, my leg. The rest of you see like a head, like a crab head, pop up out of the water in the corner and begin. You can see it sort of like dragging Ono backwards, and it's got like a crab thing. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me give you a bird's eye view of this thing.
We're having crab for dinner tonight, boys.
This is what it looks like.
crab legs.
Who's got butter?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who bought the butter?
Wasn't that something that was in those packs they gave us for
Probably.
those of us who didn't give away our food?
Yeah, there were some little pats of butter.
There you go.
All right, this is
Wait,
what it looks like.
by any chance, was there some Old Bay?
So it's kind of like what you guys see in there's some Old Bay.
I need
It's
some Old Bay
kryptonite.
seasoning.
So it looks kind of like a combination of a snail and a crab. It's about 5 feet across, and it's got a hold of Ono's leg. Where did Ono go?
yeah,
Where did I go?
I don't see me.
Yeah,
Yeah, lots of people left.
you put that thing in and disappeared us.
That's a nasty crab, dude.
Nah, that's a bad crab.
I'm still here. I see everybody.
See everybody?
I see, yeah, Arendar, Lorelei, Polarm,
I only
Titus.
see 5 of us.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm missing,
All right.
It's an Ono
Wraith
and
is gone and,
Wraith.
How did that happen?
oh no.
Roll 20, you have screwed us again.
You have to grab him from the home screen again.
I must have. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm getting him.
I just refreshed. Now I see just Ono and Wraith.
Oh, well, there I am. Ono's way across the room, so that crab didn't.
No, I just planted him here. So Ono is here.
No.
Where were you, Wraith?
I was above Titus, actually, initially.
Okay. All right. Oh, so you
You
were
were
way out
still,
there.
you were still at the entrance.
Yeah, I was still at the entrance. No,
Okay.
one to the left.
Okay.
I see just Ono and Wraith.
Refresh again then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
refresh.
All right. This is my 3rd time.
Okay. Arendar calls over to Ono. Stop messing around. Stop playing with the wildlife. Let's go. Something to do.
Quit playing with your food.
Lorelei's flying, right? She flies all the time, correct, Gordon? Okay, I see you nodding. Okay. All right. So that leg clamp does. Hold on a second. So you can feel your blood starting to pour out into the thing,
Oh, great.
and it does 3 points of damage.
Ow.
And you can feel this thing yanking on it and that kind of stuff, trying to sploosh you into the water. Let's roll for initiative.
Sure, but you know, I have refreshed once, twice, thrice, course, and I see just me and Wraith.
That's crazy.
I'm still.
That is
oh,
weird.
there's Ray. It is 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, just barely. We want to just start.
Oh, yeah. We're like, what? It's 5 to 11. Do you guys want to roll initiative and then stop there, and we'll commence this battle the next time we play?
Sure.
Yeah, that's all good.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get my own initiative done here. Hold this, please.
Did you cleared out already, Les? I can roll.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Wow, that's a nice roll.
Mm-hmm.
Initiative. Where am I? All right, and
18. All right. Excellent. All right. I think we got everyone there. Has anybody not done their initiative run yet? Their roll yet?
I think we're in. Arendar,
Titus is there.
Wraith, Creature, Vondi, Polearm, Lorelei. Oh no. Yeah, I think we're all in.
Okay.
Ready to rock. When do we play B-Team again?
February.
Second week of February.
Second week of February.
um,
Do you want to do a round?
might be fun.
I'm fine with that.
We'll
Me
see
too.
it around.
I got around, didn't he?
Second.
Let's do a round. All right. So
Well-
round one, Lorelei has thing. Lorelei, give me a quick perception check. A Lorelei perception check.
She was looking off down into that south room, so she probably didn't see her.
Okay, yeah, didn't see much, although there is some more dry area down there you can see. That's above, but there's a big patch of water right in front of where Lorelei is flying.
Okay.
Is Lorelei gonna do anything else?
She's gonna probably fly into this room. She doesn't have any vision though. She just has low light. I don't know if she can see in there or not.
Hold on a sec. We'll
Yeah,
give her
what's the
some
light
vision.
situation in here?
It's not great.
Oh, I got dark vision.
All right. How about now? Can she see a little better?
Yep.
Okay.
So she's just kind of flying into that room to. Oh, if you see something. Well, she will swoop down over there and check that out.
All right. Hold on a second. I'll tell you what that is. All right. So she swoops down over there. And she can see that there looks to be a looks like a person who is lying there, sort of partially leaning up against the wall. He's been dead for a while. I mean, you'd have to do a medicine check. Does Lorelei have a medicine skill or health check? If she does, let me have one.
No, she doesn't.
All right.
She-
Give me a roll 20.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a 0 for heal, but I don't know. Is that a?
That's
learned
fine. Yeah.
skill or-
Give me a 0 for heal. 5. Corpse is bloated and black. But it's definitely a corpse of a person. Looks like it's been torn at a bit, but other than that, it's a dead person.
Okay, Lorelei will send that to Polearm.
Okay. Wraith.
Actually, she could probably move back. She's going to move back to the doorway.
Okay. All right, Wraith. What about you?
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step
Okay. You can see the snail creature. It's definitely got a hold of Ono.
Yeah, and then I'm with the 5-foot step, I'm now far enough away. Then I'm gonna do a longbow shot.
Okay.
26 to hit.
26 is almost certainly going to be a hit. Yeah, it's a hit. Your arrowhead sort of cracks against the shell, and your first thought is that it's going to ricochet off, but it does manage to crack it and pierce it, doing a small amount of damage.
4 points of damage
Mm-hmm.
because it's within 30 feet.
Okay.
I assume I don't get sneak attack or precision damage because I moved out of any sort of flanking.
Yeah, there's no flank there.
So 4 points of damage.
Okay. Done. Anything else from you?
That's it for me.
The creature is solely focused on Ono. And Poe, you hear Lorelei kind of say something to you as something materializes out of the water there and begins moving into the room. Let's do this first. This creature's going to try and bite and claw Ono.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Jeez. All right, fine.
Well, he's got a hold of you. So one claw is holding you. The other claw comes up and tries to tear a piece off of you. 22 hit you?
It does. Ah. Ow. Ow. Ow.
Lordy. So it reaches in, grabs a piece of your flesh, and does 6 points of damage.
That hurts.
The next, in this case, the crab face comes and tries to bite you on that same leg.
Oh my god.
23, and it bites onto there and does max damage, another 7 points. 13 points of damage total. The rest of you are just like standing in sort of shock as this weird ass crab creature is just munchitating on Ono.
Well, we like crab legs, so apparently he likes.
Yeah, I was to say this
Legs.
is payback for all those Red Lobster dinners you've enjoyed over
Yeah.
the years.
You guys had the butter out from your packets, and you're thinking, well, and then you smear it on Ono.
It's like here.
This creature comes in and begins. Hold on a second. So this creature, Lorelei's like, there's another, and this creature kind of comes wandering in and stops here and sort of is like, its little eye stalks are kind of like googling around, like, hey, look, fresh meat, and it's looking at Arendar and Wraith, and it's kind of like, what?
It needs
What?
to stop 5 feet or sooner, otherwise you get an attack of opportunity.
It just kind of ambles in, so you guys didn't know it was coming.
I'm pretty sure I noticed a big old crab walking through the doorway.
All right, you want to take an attack of opportunity as it comes through the door? Take it.
Lorelei would have said that.
She would
there.
have squeaked something.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to have him attack, he can be 5 foot back and still attack one of us.
No, it's fine. He's
Not
he came up and he's got to move. He's moved, so he will not attack this time. But you can do, Arendar, you can do an attack of opportunity. Wraith, I don't know that you just shot an arrow, so I don't know that you're in a position to do an attack of opportunity, but
No, I can't.
it doesn't matter because that 14 is going to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Poe.
I was kind of shocked. by him
Where
showing.
are even? Oh, you're in the corner. All right, so you're getting a bird's eye view of all of this.
Yeah, is Ono or you not doing damage, or is it not refreshing?
I did damage. Oh, well, Ono didn't do damage.
Hold on. Now, I've refreshed Roll20's screen several times. I still see just me and Wraith. I have marked down the Ono. I see.
Unless you might have to mark down damage on this one. So
All
All right, so he had 13 plus the original 3 is 16. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll take that off for you.
Thank you. I see just me and Wraith.
All right. Can you see the damage bar now?
we can see, but
Eric, use the
Eric's
Zoom
looking
Zoom
at it, so-
share. You'll be able to see better.
Zoom. Let me.
The shared thing from in the Zoom window.
yeah, then you'll see what we're seeing.
I see it.
All right. Poe, yeah. So there's a fair amount of blood squirting in the water.
Great.
Ono's blood.
Great. Ow! This hurts.
I guess I better do a cure on him. Gonna do a cure light. 13 points to him.
To Ono?
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you moving up to do that?
How much again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to move up 5 feet.
I got back. How much again? I'm sorry.
13. I put him on there for
13.
you.
Thank you.
So now you should be -3.
Back in business. Poe, is that it for you?
Yep.
Oh no, it's your turn. Now this thing has got a clamp around your ankle, like your leg. It isn't affecting your movement because you're not grappled or anything, but it's
Oh.
definitely chewing on you. It's
Right.
bit you, and the other thing is trying to rip pieces of you off
Okay.
to eat.
All right. I'm going to punch the heck out of this thing.
Okay.
Let me do first a stunning fist. Please.
Okay.
I rolled 20 is doing weird stuff to me. Stunning fist. Here we go. 12 didn't hit.
12 is a miss.
Okay. I'm gonna try that again with my other hand and I roll a 15.
Also a miss.
All right. That's it for me.
2 misses. You see his hands bouncing off this creature's shell, which seems to be providing it a great deal of protection. And he just doesn't seem to be doing much damage to it. Arendar, Titus, you're up next.
Okay.
Swing at him.
All right, Falcata, which one? The guy that you attack of opportunity?
Yeah, that's the one I'm close to.
Ah, that's a good point.
I'm
Okay,
flanking with Wraith, so
that's true.
this is at +2.
Ooh, natural Twunzo.
Hmm.
Critical threat. Do you want to
15
try
to
and
confirm.
Does a 17 confirm?
hold on? You already got the confirm in there. 17 does not confirm, so regular hit for 13 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 13 points. All right, so the Falcata comes down hard on top of this like snail shell, and you can see it has hit it, it has fractured it, and there are cracks going across there. And now, Arendar, you have its full attention as it sees you
Good.
now as not only a danger but a delicious morsel.
Both well done, so
All right, anything else from you,
that's it.
Lord Titus?
So
Been so quiet and patient all night.
Is it dark?
It is dark in here, yeah.
So I'm going to cast daylight, and I'll cast it on my short sword.
Okay. The place lights up,
Within
and there is bright light coming off of Titus's sword. Titus has his sword out. And he's like, "Aha!" You want to move or anything? Move into the room, run past the people.
I can't. Even though I have dark vision, I can't seem to see much.
Hold on, let me.
Well, now you have light, so you should be able to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't see anything. So who
Hold
just
on, let
moved me?
I just did. Hold on. You should.
Able to see.
You should be seeing all kinds of stuff.
I see a fragment of a shell to my left or to the west, and I see a Krabby Patty to the north.
That's what you should see.
There should be a 60-foot radius of light. coming
That's what I
out.
gave you. Yeah, I mean, should be
There's
able to see
walls.
that entire room.
I cannot.
That's so.
Yeah, the
weird.
wall's small. The room's small, so
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
not big. Is it because the things are blocking it, like the doorways and stuff? Here, I'm gonna put you in the middle of the room. Let's see what you can see. Hold on a second. Can you see that whole room?
We just moved Wraith.
I guess that wouldn't help, would it?
Nah, probably not.
not as much.
Put Wraith back where he belongs.
Okay, I cannot. I mean, I can see more, but I don't see the entire room.
Can you see what is showing up on the Zoom?
Yeah, you should be able to see what's showing up on Zoom.
I can see exactly that.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole
Well,
room.
that's what you should see. So there's wall. The problem isn't light; it's walls.
Yeah, there's lots of walls. It's a small room.
Well, why wouldn't the whole room be lit up? Or is that the whole room?
That's the whole
It's the
room.
whole room.
It's
And
lit,
there's-
they're just
T-shaped
blocking
room?
your view.
There's doorways.
No, there's a doorway where Lorelei is that goes into a
Ah,
different room, but I
gotcha.
mean, you can only see partially in there.
Okay, got it. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna put you back down here where you were originally. So there's like a little door here that you can't see next to. That's why it's cut off.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So you cast that. Do you want to move any more than you?
I will move behind Poe and Ono just so he can light the place up.
Okay, so you're gonna run over there. Okay, cool. Yeah, it lights the area up. You can see easily, and you manage to pass through those things. Theoretically, I think this guy would get an attack of opportunity on you, but I'm going to pass that because he is focused on Arendar because Arendar just cracked his shell. So I think he would not take that attack of opportunity at you. He doesn't even know you're there. That's it for you, Vondram.
Vondram's gonna throw that spiked pit. He's been preparing right on this one over here by. Oh. So that's 10 by 10, 30 deep. And it's a reflex save. And I guess
Okay.
that's against.
So it's a 10-foot pit, correct?
10 by
It
10.
takes up the whole corner he's in.
Yep. Hold on a second.
And it fills with water pretty rapidly, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does. So, all right. So, so for normal pit, so yeah, so you make the pit and you're actually making it underwater, under about 4 feet of water. So,
So he gets,
So-
he gets a reflex save.
he gets a reflex save, but it's going to be because the water is also pushing him into it. So I'm going to say that this is
Would be
at
a
-2 because the water is helping him. The rest of you guys need to make a reflex save as well. As the water that you're standing in begins flowing towards this pit, I need you to make a DC 12 reflex save to stay upright.
That much water's on
Just the
it?
ones close to him?
All
It's
of it?
empty in the room. All right, he makes his save, the creature, I think. Well, does 22 make it?
Yeah.
All right. So he falls in or falls backwards, but he lets go of Ono and he's grabbing onto the edges of the thing with his claws. So that's how he's staying upright. The water is flowing past him. It's pretty much draining the room because you're talking about a pretty significant volume of water that's going down. So I see 12s. Anybody else? Ono, Wraith, Titus, and Poe. I want you guys to make a save as well. Vondram, no
Roll the
sweat.
12.
Jesus.
Oh, Titus. So Titus, you slip as the water peels past you. Oh wait, you're not in the water. You're on
He's on a half on land, half on water.
Yeah.
you're on land, so you're fine.
Okay.
Poe, what about you?
12. I rolled a 12.
12. All right, that's it. All right, so no, everybody made it. So you guys are all standing, but the water is dropping as it flows in. That creature is hanging on to like the edges and the ground and trying to keep from falling in as the water flows past it. It's let go of Ono, but it's pretty busy.
Wraith,
Uh,
leg off.
Sorry, what?
Take its leg off. It's hanging by a leg.
Right.
I'll tell you what, it's holding on with its legs. If you chop those legs off somehow, then it would definitely fall in. Or maybe injure it in such a way that it lets go, it would fall into the pit. But it's hanging on now. It's above the pit right now. Vondram, do you want to move or anything?
Not particularly.
All right. So that is the end of round 1. We're well after 11. We'll stop here. And this is where we will start. We'll start at round 2 in this snail crab fight when we start again in 4 weeks.
Snail crabs. What's next?
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, it's river. The river has been splashing in here a lot, so it's probably got some crabs in there.
Great game. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Excellent,
All right,
Excellent game.
with you guys soon.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
All right, bye, guys.